Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What it is, what it do, family. Black Alpha Network in the building, in the place. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to regulate. It's time to G-check. It's time to let everybody know that we run the yard. Yes, indeed, all the way across the board. Family, let's break it down, okay? Because we ain't really got time. You know, we in the 11th hour, as I always say. We got to represent, as I always say. And we know that. The whole world knows that. So we're going to bring them the truth. Today, we're going to do what we've been doing for the last 5 years, family. We've been running people out the paint. Let me say that. Let me say that in the nicest way. We've been running folks out the paint. And today, we're going to run some folks completely out the paint. We already got rid of the Democratic shields. They gone. We're going to get rid of Pan-Africanism. It's over tonight, if it ever even existed. But it's all love and it's all G. But before we go any further, before we represent that, before we let them know what time it is, I need to know where you are right now. FBA, roll call. Let me know what city, what town, what state. Because when foundational Black Americans get in the same place, everybody else hits the door. Cleveland, Ohio, I see you. Atlanta, I see you. I'm going to go ahead and put them all up. Let's represent right now, okay? Because this is the lineage era, whether they like it or not. This is the heritage era, whether they like it or not. This is about our culture, whether they like it or not. And we're going to represent it, whether they like it or not. The myth of Pan-African is going down tonight. It's about to be over. See, Pan-Africanism never really existed, but the myth of it, the fantasy of it, the fake, the forged, the fraud, that's all done tonight. And we're going to do it with a whole lot of energy, y'all. This is the certified Black society way. This is the foundational Black American way. Little Rock, Baltimore, Chicago, St. Louis. Y'all in the building. Pittsburgh, I see you. Virginia, I see you. This is what it is. We are in the building, in the place. California is here. Once again, y'all, East Coast, West Coast, down south, Midwest, we got foundational Black Americans all across the board, all across the spectrum. Tupelo, Mississippi in the building, so you know we bubbling. This is what it is. Albuquerque, New Mexico, I see you. Tampa, Florida, Detroit, I see you. This is what it's all about. This is what it's always been about, and it's always been about us. Let's let the whole world know. Greensboro, North Carolina, Louisiana in the house. What's up? Boston in the house. We can go for days. It's my favorite part is the FBA roll call because, you know, the roll call is very important. See, nothing more important than a roll call. A roll call is basically letting motherfuckers know that we in the building, we can't be played. A roll call is letting somebody know that any games they play gonna get ran out the paint. A roll call is letting everybody know that our lineage is here to stay. And then that's really all about, family, ain't it? It's all about us really letting people know that we're here to stay. They can't run no games on us. Foundational Black Americans, our lineage, heritage, and culture, we are stronger than ever. We are hitting harder than ever. We running anybody out the paint that got a problem with us, and we just letting the whole world know. You can try to erase us. You can try to replace us. None of that is happening. I promise you guys, the next 10 to 15 years will all go down based upon how we say it's going to go down, based upon what we do. Every type of game that they play is basically all the certifieds right here, all the counterfeits, okay? All of the authentic versus all the artificial, all the real versus all the fake, and y'all know we win every single time. So everybody's been running around here trying to Africanize us, and y'all know they've been doing this for years. They've been doing it, but they really been doing this ever since we got on code. See, once you get on code, family, everybody tries to pull something on you. When you get on code, y'all see Florida in the house, Miami too, I see all y'all. Okay, yes indeed, Texas, I see you as well, Virginia. Whenever you get on code, you got to understand that the dominant society is going to try to pull out every single trick and tactic that they can find. The one trick that they love pulling, family, is Africa. They always want to hit us with the go back to Africa. Y'all Africans, y'all Africans Americans, you everything except for who you genuinely truly are. You cannot make foundational Black Americans anything other than foundational Black Americans. You don't pull this on nobody else. You ain't going to pull this on us. You don't go around and tell all these other communities that they're not who they say they are. You let people rock. I mean, you literally have people running around right now that are born this and somehow are saying that they're this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You got some folks who have these type of parts, and now they're saying that don't make them someone with these type of parts. You got people saying that what they were born with naturally isn't what they are anymore. But yet they want to tell foundational Black Americans that who we are naturally, we ain't got no say in it. This whole world, people can be this on Monday, that on Tuesday, Wednesday, be something different every day of the week. But as soon as we say that we certify foundational Black Americans, everybody got a problem. Damn that. We ain't having it no more, y'all, because this election season, and y'all seen what's been going on in election season. And trust me, our lineage is tied into every single thing we do, every single policy, every single beneficial tactic that we pull out for ourselves is going to be seen in the long run. We playing the long game, and we letting everybody know this certified foundational Black American. So I want people to see this right now and let me know how you feel, family. This right here, let's get to it, y'all. That is Carolina, okay? The United States of America, all right? Let's get this straight. That is not Africa. That ain't nowhere in Nigeria, family. No, that is not Zimbabwe. No, don't let nobody try to tell you that those people right there never existed. Don't let nobody tell you that them folks right there weren't here before everybody else. That's a lie. We have all the receipts and all the facts, family, that show you that our lineage, heritage, and culture is not just the originators, not just the foundation, not just the people who built this country from scratch by ourselves, that we did it and we did it flawlessly. And we've came around every single thing that they've ever thrown at us and still prevailed. That is in South Carolina in the 1860s. And a lot of people right here in this chat got family from South Carolina. Chances are a lot of us are related to some of them people in that picture. But we all one big family tree, so it'll go back around full circle anyway. We gonna represent, fam. We gonna let them know, family, we are the lineage, heritage, and culture that cannot be replaced. This is the old Fort Plantation in Port Royal Island, South Carolina. Okay, family? So anybody running around here trying to tell us that we are really from Zimbabwe, from the Senegal, we need to go back to Wakanda. All them folks, family, them folks can kick rocks because we not having any of it. That's just what we say when we do what we do, family. So this is what it's all about, and we're going to represent it to the fullest today. And we're going to continue to do it. Why? Because we can. Why? Because we are who we are. And why? Just basically, family, because we're going to kick up some dust. Now, this is what we are. I want everybody to notice one thing about that picture, family. The same people right there in that picture, our ancestors, those are the same people that gave us what we have today. So everything we do today has to represent them. I'm always saying right here on the Black Alpha Network that they want to replace us, and not just us today walking around. They want the past, they want the present, they want the future. All of them, they want to replace them with Mr. Julio, Mr. Diego. Let's make it very clear. Those people right there built this country from scratch. When we say that we built this country from scratch, we're talking about them. They want to replace them with some immigrants who got here last night. I told you, they want to erase the slave and put in the immigrant. They want to do it in the past. They want to do it in the present, because therefore we can become them and they can become us. They want to flip-flop. Now, in the country where people can walk around and flip-flop all day long, they can go left and right, upside down. They can go anywhere they want to. They want to do the same exact tactic to us. And we are the last stand, y'all. We are the last stand. We're not going to let nobody who flew here last night at 12:30 come and tell us about our lineage, heritage, and culture. Hell no. We're not going to let nobody who ain't twisted a doorknob in building this country come and tell us about our lineage, heritage, and culture. We ain't going to let no politician come around here and try to tell us about our lineage, heritage, and culture. We are FBA strong. This is the lineage era. And when I say this is the lineage era, family, I mean it. I stand on it. I represent it the same way you do. And that's the only way we're going to be able to stop these people. We are the last stand. We're going to wear that loud and proud. We're going to represent it to the fullest and to the maximum. And anybody who has a problem with that, we're going to run them out the paint, give them that full court press, and let them all know that this is FBA all day and certified all the time. Now, let's get to this list. On this episode, we're going to break down every single Pan-African, scam African that's ever came around, that's ever told us a lie, that's ever tried to sell us anything. And we got some receipts. Y'all know, like I know, scam Africanism don't exist. And when you talk about an erasure, you have to talk about the people who are the number one recruits, okay? Understand, every single person who comes to this country, they're coming over here with two things in mind. They want to be next to Karen and Ken, and they want to replace us. All right. That is the deal. That's unspoken. That's informal. That's silent. No one's saying it, but we going to say it. OK, let's say what they don't want to say. Let's say what Holland Martin don't want to talk about. All right. Let's say what Marcus Lemoyne Hill don't want to talk about. Let's say what all of these Democrats don't want to talk about. All the Republicans don't want to talk about, or anybody who is any way, shape, or form affiliated with W supremacy. Let's talk about what they don't want to talk about, because this is what we do. Y'all know foundational Black Americans. We say the stuff they scared to say. We speak the truth when they don't want to speak it. We face things that they would have ran a long time ago. Nobody is going to tell us that we ever ran from anything. Nobody is ever going to tell us that we have ever fled. That is something that ain't going to happen, and it damn sure ain't going to happen on this generation's watch. This generation is different. We stand on the shoulder of all of those brothers and sisters, and we stand on the shoulders of everybody else who has ever chipped in. And when I say chipped in, I'm talking about these 50 states right here. You're talking about the non-deportable, you're talking about the non-immigrants, but you're talking about the certifieds. That is us. So when you talk about people trying to erase our history, trying to tell us how we need to be nice, on this episode, I'm going to show you scam Africans telling you openly. These are the receipts that you can expect on this episode. Smash that like button. This is how we do it. Y'all know Black Alpha Network. I'm going to speak it and I'm going to bring it. I got receipts that show you Mrs. Mutombo telling people that she comes to America and she wants to be down with Karen and Ken. What do I always tell you about scam Africanism? What do I always tell you about immigration? I tell y'all that immigration is all about proximity to the dominant society. Don't let none of these people, and I don't give a damn where they come from, don't let none of these people tell you how they ran over here and they weren't thinking about being next door to Ken and Karen. Why do you think people who continuously get colonized all want to come to America? Last time I checked, if America colonized your country, why do you want to run to America to get away from your country? It seems like Africa always is around the colonizer. Either the colonizer's coming home or you going to the colonizer's house. So I can only make the determination that you love Karen and Ken. Whether Karen and Ken is coming over and taking over your continent, your country, your village, and your tribe, or you're going over there to his house so you can perhaps go to a barbecue and go get you some cold-ass hot dogs, some Brussels sprouts, and a bunch of unseasoned food. That's what we're talking about. And we're going to talk about the scam Africans. We already know about all the migrants coming in from the south border. But guess what? You're seeing a whole bunch of Africans that been coming in from that same border. They flying all the way over on the Biden Express, going all the way through the desert just so they can get next to Karen and Ken. Oh, we cooking today, family. And I got some footage that shows you an actual immigrant from Africa. And she says, when you first get here, make friends with Karen and Ken. She says it. That's what she says. It's not what we said. It's what she said. I got that on deck. I also have some footage of a migrant immigrant first generation African telling us that getting called African booty scratcher, okay, in the third grade or first grade. And to be honest with you, family, I don't even believe that. Kids don't even say that. Please try another one. You might have heard that for 2 years, but I'm tired of explaining to these people that that's what we do roast. If you cannot take the heat, get your ass out the kitchen. And if you cannot handle an FBA roast, get your ass out the country. We need to put that on the shirt, okay? If you can't handle an FBA roast, get your ass out the country. All right, we can have arrows pointing that way. Take your ass on back to Zimbabwe. All right, I'm sure the village is waiting on you. We're not playing these games with these Africans who come over here, try to sell us scam Africanism just so they can take our tangibles and our benefits. Hell no. We're not going to let nobody come over here who look like us and cloak themselves in with the dominant society while pretending that they're down with us. And you're not going to play victim in the process. No. So I have footage of an African saying that getting called African booty scratcher is the same as slavery. And she said that if they do not get over that term and what we did to them, then we can never tell them anything about slavery. That's what she said, y'all. And I got that footage as well. We're going to roast Dr. Kubar Vasquez. We're going to talk about how Dr. Umar likes to take money from foundational Black Americans for donations. But at the same time, he says all these things about foundational Black Americans. And he's also trying to prevent our reparations claim. We're going to talk about Akon, okay? We're going to talk about why his hairline woke up at 4 a.m., but the front of that motherfucker is way the front at 7 o'clock. We're going to talk about that. We're going to break it all down. We got all the facts, and the first person we're going to start off with on this quest of ending scam Africanism tonight, shutting it down, done, over with, never to be heard from again. So you can take the Democratic Shield, checked off the list. And then the next one is the damn scam Africans, every one of them. First person on the list, family, that we're going to break down is Marcus Lemoyne Hill. It came across my timeline earlier today. He was capping, caping, and talking all types of nonsense, fam. And we are going to G-check and regulate this because you know we ain't going for it. We ain't standing for it. This is what we do. You're going to respect us when you step in our house. You're going to wipe your feet at the door, or we going to see your ass straight to the goddamn corner. Marcus Lemoyne, y'all, had the nerve to come out and tell us that we needs to be nice. If anybody is familiar, Cameron, the rapper Cameron, he came out, y'all, and Cameron said, let me let y'all see me real quick while this is buffered. Cameron came out and he said, call us Black American because we not African American. That's what he said. Simple facts. And we all know that to be the truth, okay? We all know that's the truth. We all know that's the case. And all of a sudden, who did you see coming out the blue, y'all? You seen every single Democratic shield popping up left and right. Why were the Democratic shields the main ones who took offense to that? I'm going to tell you why. Because the Democrats have spent billions of dollars trying to replace us with Mr. Mutombo and Mrs. Fufu. Yes, they have. Why have they done that, y'all? The reason why they've done that, family, is because they want to replace us with Black folks who are subservient, Black folks who are docile, and quite frankly, Black folks who are going to lay down. They know, trust me, the colonizer knows Black people, all right, very well. Let's get that clear. The colonizer understands what Black folks let him get away with whatever he wants to do, and what Black folks ain't having it. The colonizer only puts that stuff on people that he can get away with doing it too. So therefore, family, Marcus Lemoyne had the nerve to come out, run a whole type of speech and say, Cameron, you wrong. Cameron, you need to be nice. Cameron, you need to start talking to the Africans. Basically on that Steve Harvey stuff, all right? Salute to Cat Williams, by the way. Basically on that Steve Harvey, that they is us type talk. Y'all know what I'm saying. All that they is us speech. That's what Marcus Lemoyne came out and he tried to run because he knows better than anybody that foundational Black Americans are the only lineage that is going to stand up next to anybody, and we ain't playing those games. Before I show Marcus Lemoyne's family, let me show you this. This right here is the current state of Africa. Yes, indeed. Okay, this is what they're dealing with right now in Africa. Don't let nobody run around where their continent looks like that, got every single goddamn flag except for their own, teach you, tell you, or try to shame you into representing yourself. Africa is in no position, family, to speak to foundational Black Americans about nothing. The only thing in this modern world that Africa could ever talk to us about is how to get colonized, and quite frankly, we ain't interested in that. So hell no. But that is the current state of Africa. That is exactly what they look like. Every single one of those flags represents them being colonized. How in the hell can you be dealing with that right there, y'all, but then have the nerve to turn around and even worry about what we're doing? We are not colonized, and we ain't worrying about it. We ain't stressing it. We ain't talking about it. We in a whole different time. We operating completely different, and we functioning on a different level. But yet they got all of that smoke for us. All they got to do is pick out a flag, pick out any one of those flags, Mr. Mutombo, and then you can handle that business. Simple as that. So why are you waking up? You got the Chinaman right there in your hood telling you what he ain't gonna do, what you need to do, and you sit back and you allow that to happen, and then you wake up in the morning and say, well, what about those FBAs? No, you need to be worrying about the whole damn world, because last time I checked, the whole damn world has taken turns colonizing you. Let's get it right, family. There is not a group of people on the planet Earth that has not colonized Africa. Nobody. When you start talking about Africa and the conditions of what's going on over in Africa, the one thing that stands out the most above all is that Africa continuously gets colonized over and over and over again. One more time, check this out. This is another one. I'm going to lay down the groundwork, y'all. Let me lay down the groundwork. This right here is another situation. Y'all know how we say they love their colonizer? Y'all know how people say the metaphor about somebody comes around and you roll out the red carpet for them? In Africa, they really mean it. Look at this, y'all. This is right here in Kenya. When Prince King Charles, whatever the hell his name is, from England, went over to Africa, they're literally rolling out the red carpet. Literally. That is Kenya. That is a red carpet, and that is an African showing a massa the way. And they doing it right now for Mr. Yang as well. And they doing it for Mr. Muhammad as well. They doing it for every single person that they can find. Why is that, y'all? Come on. We got to call a spade a spade. We got to understand that there's two types of people. Those who fight global supremacy and those who are puppets to global supremacy. And it's clear as day that they operate and they choose to operate as puppets to global supremacy. And not only that, family, they are willing to come after us in the process. They would stand up against anybody who calls out that type of behavior. And this is who they expect us to say, we friends, we brothers, come on down. Hell to the no. But that ain't it, family. It gets even worse than that. See, just when you think it can't get bad, family, it get even more worse. And we putting all the facts and all the tables on the line today. And we are going to expose why scam Africanism is not ever going to work, why it has never worked, and why it is a myth beyond all myths. And this right here, family, is a prime example. We are over here fighting for tangibles and reparations. They over there rolling out the red carpet, y'all. And not to mention, y'all remember how they was acting when the Queen of England died. Yep, it wasn't us over here crying. It was them. That's the type of time they on. Did y'all see that video that came out with those African women talking to that black dude? I think he's from America. And they were going back and forth. And she was saying all these things about how Africa's this and Africa's this. They have jealousy, spite, and envy towards us. All right. That's the rip. All right. You don't sit there and roll out the red carpet, get colonized every other Wednesday, and still think that these people are going to ever fight supremacy. Fighting supremacy is not in their mentality. It has never been in their mentality. They would rather fight us than fight supremacy. As a matter of fact, y'all, look at all the TikTok tethers. Look at all the Akons of the world. Look at all these damn African celebrities who come over here, all the Afro beats people. Look at Burner Boy. Look at all of them. Do you see them talk about supremacy more, or do you see them hating on foundational Black Americans more? If your answer is yes, then that means that they are automatically dismissed and disqualified from ever participating in our fight against global supremacy. We will immediately see them to the door, from the door to the curb, from the curb to the trash can, and they can get the hell on out because we ain't got time. We ain't got time. We ain't got the time. Check out this video right here, family. This is what we're talking about. And I'm glad it's getting seen more and more and more. And everybody is witnessing what is happening. Look at the way these sisters get so triggered at this brother speaking the facts about what's really going on in the diaspora. There's no diaspora war. It's only people hating on foundational Black Americans. Check this out.
Like I said, so my point, for the next 10 years plus, I studied Nigerian culture. I immersed myself in it. You guys still would not call me Nigerian.
Yes, because you don't have the
even if my ancestry said I was 90% Nigerian, you guys still wouldn't call me.
Because the answer would still be different, and it depends. And I said it depends on how. If you haven't gone through that process of immersing a culture, you can't say we won't accept you. Do that first.
You already answered.
Who said that?
So y'all proving my point. The answer is yes.
You literally said
in history as a Black person. Not saying that I won't, but for you, for example, your history is so.
You see that right there?
No, because you have to let me. You have to let me finish.
We're all from Africa. We're all from Africa.
I mean, yeah.
So you say we're trying to divide us. No, that's correct.
No, it's incorrect.
It's correct.
You're from Africa, nigga. Nigeria's in Africa. You're African.
That's the whole continent. Why would you generalize your whole continent?
Why are you disagreeing with me?
Look at that, fam. They can't even get their continent and their country right. They can't even get it right. They don't mind using it as an excuse Well, you can't blame us all because we're not all from there. There's a whole bunch of different tribes and different languages. And then all of a sudden, when dude says, you ain't even knowing where you from, Nigeria's in Africa, she can't say nothing but start stumbling. One more time.
No, but it's valid to say that because you could be Tanzanian, you could. He's just trying to say Africa.
Okay, African. Okay, if you don't know, don't say it. You're African American.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm. This is so this. Yeah, so y'all see my point. She's helping to prove my point. So I appreciate you for being. Because you helping to prove my point. So the rest of them. It doesn't fucking matter.
It does matter. It's like saying, I'm from the United Kingdom. United Kingdom's where?
First off, have y'all noticed a hell of a lot of those scam Africans that come over here? They always got wigs on. Real wig. They don't seem too proud of their hair. Just keeping it a buck. Just keeping it a buck. Now let me run that back. Notice this right here. How when he presses her, she don't even know what to say.
No, it's incorrect.
You're from Africa, nigga. Nigeria's in Africa. You're African.
But that's a whole continent. Why would you generalize your whole continent?
Why are you disagreeing with me? You're
Because.
No, but it's valid to say that because you could be Tanzanian, you could. He's just trying to say Africa.
Okay, African. Okay, if you don't know, don't say it. You're African American.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm. This is so this. Yeah, so y'all see my point. She's helping to prove my point. So I appreciate you for being. Because you helping to prove my point. So the rest of them. It doesn't fucking matter.
It does matter. It's like saying, I'm from the United Kingdom. United Kingdom's where?
That right there, family, is your typical, everyday, average person who comes over here and they try to speak on us, but they ain't never got that smoke. Have y'all ever seen them ever get that worked up about the dominant society? You'll never see it, okay? They had no points. This is typical. Y'all see when these folks call into these spaces, all they do is they run their mouth, they babble, and they scam African talk. And that's why scam Africanism is over. I'm telling you right now, if they think the scam Africanism is going to go into the future, it ain't going into the future, y'all. It is not going into the future because, to be honest with you, it was never really in the past. All they did, fam, was played off the fact that brothers and sisters fight global supremacy all over the world. But see, there's a difference. Just because you fight global supremacy does not mean that you were ever a Pan-African. It just means that you were on code. That's it. And they wanted to make us something that we never were, y'all. And then they always run this game about what we have and what we don't have. But in reality, we've always had more than what they do. Why? It's because we are the ones who fight back the colonizer. They are the ones, obviously, that team up with the colonizer. And there's a big difference, fam, and one you cannot deny. And one of the main things they always try to hit us with, fam, is we don't have a culture. You done seen people say that we ain't got a culture while they're sitting there speaking in our language. You have people sitting there using our slang. You got people running around here dressing just like us. I done seen black folks from Africa and they look like the damn Migos. We done already seen the damn Nigerian Tupac. You don't have any of us running around here mimicking their culture. And if you do, it's a scam African who's probably someone already with a defeated mentality and ain't on code in the first place. But you see them hating on us. And this goes all the way across the diaspora. So when we talk about it, we're not just talking about people in Africa. We're talking about the Haitians, we're talking about the Jamaicans, or anybody else who wakes up in the morning and they got hatred, jealousy, spite, and envy for foundational black Americans, but they would never say that to Karen or Ken. All of them. More. So you seen those people right there babbling, made no points, and the lady didn't even know whether she was from Africa, whether that was really Nigeria. She didn't know what to say, where she was at, or anything. But that's what they do. Now check this one out, fam. You notice they always hit us with this one too, right? They always hit us with the, we don't have no culture. Watch this lady right here try to say that foundational black Americans ain't got no culture. This is their go-to talking point.
One thing that I do have that a lot of black Americans don't have is a sense of knowing where you come from. So I do take pride.
I want y'all to stop saying this expeditiously, please. Black Americans know where they're from, America, and that is okay. It is more than enough to be from America. We are our own ethnic group. We have our own language, AAVE, food, culture, music, all the things that make you an ethnic group. If a person claims to be from Jamaica, you don't question that. You accept that answer, which is ironic because guess what? Black people are not native to the island of Jamaica. In fact, their ancestors came to that island at the same time that my ancestors came to America. But because we are a minority in this country, you dismiss our contributions to the culture in the American fabric. We are part of this country and how we built it. We built it for free, first of all. And when we start saying these things, y'all, we are dismissing the Black American contribution. You are implying that our roots here are not very strong. If a white person tells you that I'm American, you don't question that either. You don't say, but where in Europe are you from? You accept that. accept our answer as well. The part that I want people to hone in on is that there's a part of this country that is always trying to undercut the history and the contributions of Black Americans. And so that we as other cousins in the diaspora should not feed into that. It is the same, it's the other side of the coin of saying, go back to Africa where you're from, when my ancestors built this country. So I want us to be okay with answers like, I'm from America by way of Tennessee, Mississippi, Missouri. Those answers are enough.
Right there, family, that shows you again that they'll say anything, but yet they never talk about the dominant society. How come you don't ever get up and talk about them colonizers that are literally in your living room? You don't never speak about the colonizer. You only have time to talk about foundational Black Americans because you are jealous of us. Fam, can we just say it? Okay, let's put it on the table. This 2024, right? Okay, let's be real then. Everybody who is Black, melanated, or anything of sort on this planet Earth looks to us as the beacon. They look to us as the example. They look to us as in what they want to be. They know that they got to kiss Master's ass. However, they got to roll out the red carpets. We done showed them. They put on every single synthetic wig they can find. They try to look like Karen and Ken. The people who are off code in America, that's pretty much your average everyday person in the diaspora, okay? Their regular people look like our off code people. And as soon as we get real and honest about that, that's when things change. This game where we try to play nice, that's when things get messed up, fam. We're not playing that nice game with people. See, whenever we play nice, people take advantage of us. Whenever we say we're here for the whole diaspora, all of a sudden they come over here and they want to start saying we ain't got a coach. Soon as we say that we're going to fight global supremacy with them over there, then all of a sudden they say, well, hold on now. What y'all need to be doing over here? Soon as we say y'all need to get up off your shoulders and stand up, then they say, well, you just xenophobic FBA. All of a sudden, once we became lineage first, is when all these people became ultra foundational Black American haters. See, they used to say this quietly, right? Back in the day, they used to drive their little taxi cabs and they used to say little things about foundational Black Americans on the low. You feel me? They go behind closed doors and start talking about us. The more we became loud with lineage-based reparations, the more they became loud with hating foundational Black Americans. That's what ended up happening, fam. And we've seen it play out every single day in this generation. This generation has exposed so much, y'all. Ain't we? Ain't we exposed pretty much every single thing that you can imagine? There isn't one thing, family, that we have not exposed. There's not one group of people that we have not exposed. We done exposed them all. We done exposed them all. They can't even hide at this point. There used to be a time where they used to be able to hide. They would say things and nobody really wanted to address it. This generation right now, you're not saying nothing without us calling you out. Calling out somebody is the most powerful thing in the world. AKA, it puts an end to all their BS. And that's what we're doing. We put it into the BS, then we get to the money. All right. We put it into scam Africanism, then they can't sit in on our reparations panels. They can't try to co-opt our reparations because that's what it's all about. When you see us getting lineage first, you know that reparations money's coming. So they done sent in every Mr. Mutombo, Fufu, everybody they can find all across the planet, from music, art, and all across society, just so they can try to take our money, but it ain't happening. More. Check this out right here, family. Look at the little spite, jealousy, and misnomers that they always have about us, fam. We cannot stop it because this is just what they do. Things that we don't even pay attention to. They be hating on us about, y'all. Check this out right here, fam. Watch what goes on.
So, I grew up celebrating Kwanzaa, and I'm so Black proud.
Freeze. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
In an Afrocentric household, that when I finally went to Africa, and I went in December, by the way, that I was like, no, highway now. My brother, we don't celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Kwanzaa. And that guy looked at me, I believe he was, because he said, hi, do not know what Kwanzaa is.
And let's look at the comments right quick. From Kenya, we don't know what Kwanzaa is, but it's a Swahili word meaning first of all. Like first of all. I'm African, born in Africa, and I only knew about Kwanzaa from an episode of Boondocks. Most Africans have never heard of Kwanzaa. Now, this is the guy who came up with Kwanzaa, and he's not African. He was born in Maryland. And what's interesting is this paragraph caught my eye. In 1965, Karinga and Hakim Jamal co-founded the Black nationalist group called US Organization, which became involved in violent clashes with the Black Panther Party.
Freeze. I want y'all to notice right here, family. This is more of them trying to Africanize us, trying to get us on some Kwanzaa conversation. Brothers and sisters are over here doing our thing. Brothers and sisters are handling Lineage business. So when they start trying to get this whole Kwanzaa, that ain't nothing but an opportunity to try to Africanize us. We stay away from them debates, all right? That wouldn't even be a debate until they brought up. See, they speak in a lot of corners, y'all. They speak in a whole lot of corners. They'll start saying things like, well, you know, Kwanzaa is something that you Black Americans do. And then when we say, no, we don't, they say, yes, you do. And then they try to get us to get into an argument about it. But brothers and sisters, don't be on that. We ain't been running around on no damn Kwanzaa. That is nothing. And I want y'all to think about this. When you speak about Kwanzaa, you're speaking about a holiday, a fake holiday that the United States government has always sanctioned. They used to have Kwanzaa celebrations at the White House. They would have all these people pull up and speak on it. So with very fact, fam, that they are doing that, that lets you know that they are the ones sponsoring it. Kwanzaa is a situation into where, fam, they can try to Africanize us to the maximum. And they do not like the fact that foundational Black Americans do not stand on that. We ain't never celebrated it. I don't even know what day the hell it starts. I don't know the traditions. I don't know none of it. Don't care to know it. Don't give a damn. Don't give a fuck. None of it. Because we are foundational Black Americans celebrating our own lineage, heritage, and culture, and they can take all of that elsewhere. This is what they do, though, y'all. And that whole video right there shows you. It's a Kwanzaa back and forth debate. All right. And y'all been seeing that a lot lately. They never really pushed the Kwanzaa thing. They would do it, but they seen that we rejected Kwanzaa years ago. They seen that foundational Black Americans wasn't rocking with none of that. So all of a sudden they start saying happy Kwanzaa. As a matter of fact, don't Kamala Harris and her husband do a Kwanzaa thing her husband, right? They have a whole Kwanzaa thing every single year. They always put out a video and it's basically saying, y'all FBAs, it's time y'all go celebrate Kwanzaa because that's Black and, you know, that's some African stuff. Ain't y'all really African too? That's all it is, y'all. Kwanzaa is a holiday to Africanize us. If they're not trying to steal our holidays like Juneteenth, then they're trying to put African holidays on us. The same way they try to put dashikis on us and kente cloth on us. The Black Panther movie on us. Everything you see is some type of Africanization of our culture because us being lineage first, lineage based, and lineage only terrifies them. They're petrified. And they're going to stay petrified because we're not going to no Kwanzaa, never have, never will. Fam, y'all know how we sit here and we talk about these people coming over here trying to cloak themselves over in our culture. Y'all remember this right here? Tell me y'all remember this right here. Tell me you remember that right there. This guy was running around and he was trying to say that he was going to get rid of Black History Month. This is what we say. Do you ever see anybody from the diaspora come and call those people out right there? They never do. There are plenty of off-coded Africans right here, and you never see the quote-unquote on-code ones, the ones who say, we all brothers. We not all's bad. We's not all bad. Well, if y'all ain't all bad, then how come you don't ever call out these people? Tell me now. You don't ever seem to call these people out, so we got to question that. We got to make a real classification of these type of people, fam, because every time we turn around, we see these folks out here saying stuff like that. There was also that, I want to say she, what was she? She was like an attorney general. I want to say she was in New Jersey, somewhere on the East Coast. And she was saying how Black folks got to get over slavery. They come over here and they cloak themselves in our lineage, heritage, and culture. And in cases like this, they straight up just denounce it. Straight up denounce it. Straight up say, nope, we're going to go ahead and go over y'all. And this is what we're going to do. Look at that guy. If tap dancing, butter biscuit chasing was a person, you see it right there, family. You see it clearly, and that's the type of people that they are, and that's what they are always going to be. So no, y'all, no. We not rocking with that by no means, y'all. We not rocking with that by no means. They could take that somewhere else, but that is your typical, everyday, average scam African. They on that scam African play, fam, and we got to be careful because if you look, the Democratic Party are feeding way more of these people. Think about it. Barack Obama, what is he? Okay, he's a non-FBA. Kamala Harris, what is she? A non-FBA. It don't stop. You continuously are starting to see these non-FBAs in the Democratic Party, and they popping up left and right because they are trying to Africanize everything we do. A lot of those Democrats that you see popping up, fam, half of them are non-FBA, and they're speaking on policies for foundational Black Americans. This is how detrimental it is, and this is why we have to call it out. Call it out, fam. We ain't worried about nobody's feelings. We don't care how they take it, because at the end of the day, if they can come over here and steal from us, take away what we fought for, try to erase our foundational Black American presence in this country, then we have the right to say and do any damn thing that we choose, and we will continue to say anything that we choose. So watch out for people like that, because that's going to be the main one right there trying to write some type of legislation about how we need to get rid of this, get rid of that, or someone trying to write legislation on how foundational Black Americans are haters. You see, the main thing people always do with us, fam, they always try to run this game on us that we are some type of hate group. They literally came over here and tried to write a petition that they could say that we're a hate group. Not all these folks from over there who come over here and commit all types of crimes. No, they don't ever speak on that. They try to say that foundational Black Americans. This is why you got to watch these people. They come over here and they look like us, and they cloak themselves in our lineage, heritage, and culture. This is what they do. And they're very detrimental. You got to watch the person who can come on the inside of the house, right? The person who's on the outside of the house, oh, you can see them. But the person who comes on the inside of the house and tries to sell you all these type of, we're all brothers. Remember, fam, we were all Akatas a few years ago. And then all of a sudden we became brothers. Soon as you start talking about reparations, it's funny how many people want to be brothers, right? You got to watch these people, because out of nowhere, they'll start telling us, there we go. Yes, yes, right there. I see that out the side right there. Yes, the lieutenant governor of Virginia, yep, tells Black folks to get over slavery. Yes, yes, that person. The same way this guy right here. These people are coming over here and they're trying to get in positions of power. They're trying to get in positions of power. They're already in New York City and different places becoming police officers, and they're going to slowly try to get behind those boards. So now they can carry out their supremacist agenda on us right here in America, family. The same thing that they do in Africa. What happens? The king, the queen of all these European places, they'll fly over to Africa, shake hands with all these people. Joe Biden flies over there. Barack Obama flew over there. Kamala Harris flew over there. They shake hands with all of these African leaders. They write all these policies and they put them on their people. This is what they're trying to do right here in America. They're trying to fly in all of these migrants, give you some type of sob story, give them some type of position of power. It starts off as the lieutenant governor. It starts off as some politician in a city hall, city council. Then they work their way up to the vice president. They work their way up to the speaker of the house. They work their way up to the White House press secretary. It works all the way up to the president. And then boom, what happens? It's the Barack Obama agenda. Barack Obama was the main one. They brought in Barack Ho, and Barack Ho wrote laws for everybody else, but he did it based upon we all Black brother. Barack Obama was basically the first we all Black brother. Okay, that's basically what he is. You got to be careful that we all Black. All right, there is nothing more oppy than the term we are all Black. 9 times out of 10, when someone says we are all Black, they really identify and subscribe to the dominant society. If not, they wouldn't have to say it. We don't walk in a room. I ain't never in my life walked in a room and said, we all Black, brother. Ain't nobody do that. FBA, we don't do that. That ain't our time. We ain't on that. Foundational Black Americans don't have to represent that. Anybody who's telling you that, family, is somebody basically who is trying to get something from you. And that is the way they cloak themselves in your culture, and they come out, start hating. And when that don't work, they go into the, well, y'all just a hate group anyway. Y'all is xenophobic, okay? 9 times out of 10, that is xenophobic talk, that hate group talk, that comes from Africans, all right? You hear from the dominant society, you hear from the peoples of color, the brown folk, but the majority of time someone says, y'all hate group or y'all xenophobic, that's coming from Africans. So they're coming over here with big terms. Let me tell you something. When somebody comes over here and literally writes a petition and says that you are a hate group, those people are coming over here and they got smoke. They got a real dirty agenda, dirty. And that's what they be doing. And when we call them out, that's what they do. They throw their hands up. They don't mention all the jealousy, the spite, the envy, the vitriol that they have for us. All the times they talk down on us. We say one thing in return, then it's, you ain't xenophobic FBA. That's all it is. They will say anything. They have that backstabbing culture. They have that tribalism. They bring all that dirt over here, team up with Karen and Ken, and then the next thing you know, family, they're trying to get in on what we created, and they're trying to steal from us. Then they'll move on to stuff like this. Remember this guy? I exposed this guy a few weeks ago. I want y'all to remember this dude. First off, look at that goddamn Friedman forehead. That forehead is wide as hell. That looked like a football field. But that's another topic, another conversation for a whole nother day. Watch how this guy starts talking about what's the group that hates everybody? Is it the FBA? Watch this right here, fam. This is what we talk about. They are quick to play victim. When you start dealing with a scam African, typically, fam, they have the same exact tactics that W women have in the Me Too movement. Dealing with a scam African is basically the same as dealing with a W woman. Check it out.
I think it's FBA. The ones that say that the people that no one has rights to reparations except African Americans who can trace their lineage to America, to the United States of America. Now, again, I don't know what part of history we're focusing on, because if you know anything about history, when Africans were first being brought to the New World, they were taken to the Caribbean first, then brought to the islands, then brought to the Americas. They would take them there and break up the trip. It's not really
Look at that right there, how he's trying to create his own argument, fam. This is what they do. They create their own arguments about our history. They create their own arguments about our lives. Who can create their own agenda and narrative on the life that you live? Nobody can do that. Can't nobody walk in your house and make up their own agenda on your light bill, okay? On your mortgage, on your rent, on how you raise your kids. This is the disrespect that we talk about. They will come over here and just make up something, try to insert their logic of tribalism and backstabbing culture and expect us to deal with it. And whenever we call it out, he gets mad. This dude started off by saying, who are the people who hate everybody? And he says FBA. Now, if we say that they hate us, they want to say it's xenophobia. It's funny how they can say that about us, but if we even say something halfway like that about them, then all of a sudden they start crying all them tethered tears. Look at how he started it, fam. Watch how he comes out the gate making some type of aspersions about us.
I think even the FBAs, is it the FBAs? I can't remember. Which one is I think it's FBA. The ones that say that the people that no one has rights to reparations except African Americans who can trace their lineage to America, to the United States of America. Now, again, I don't know what part of history we're focusing on, because if you know,
I'm gonna tell you what type of history we're focusing on. We're focusing on foundational Black American history. Listen what I'm saying with these people, y'all. Look at what he's talking about. He says, you're talking about the FBA from America. Last time I checked, it means foundational Black America, okay? And America meaning the United States of America. And he says, I don't know what history we're focusing on. We're focusing on the history of this country. The same way every single policy on every single continent and country is about their own, okay? Let me say this, y'all, all right? America does not write policies for Zimbabwe, all right? Zimbabwe don't write policies for Italy. Italy don't write policies for Taiwan, all right? Hong Kong don't write policies for Mexico. You write the policies within your borders. See, now they want to change the whole political and social structure of the earth. These folks will try to change the earth just to steal a couple dollars from us. This, that culture we speak of. And don't get mad when we call it out, y'all. Now they're literally trying to say that in America, we should cut reparations checks for them in Africa or Jamaica or Haiti. Meaning that whatever we have done, we have to give it to them. That is not how any of this works. And they are willing to go to those lengths and those restrictions just so they can steal from foundationals. So to answer his question, he said he don't know. That's a problem. You don't know. All right. Last time I checked, when you don't know, you shut the hell up. But see, the problem is he don't know, but yet he keeps talking. He's getting in on our business when our business does not concern him. All right. Everything or anything that foundational Black Americans do, it is not your concern. I'm not sitting there talking about politics of Jamaica. I damn sure ain't talking about Jamaica saying that I deserve what they have. I'm not talking about Haiti. I damn sure wouldn't sit here and say whatever goes on in Haiti, we deserve the money over here. We have never went anywhere and proclaimed or made a declaration that someone else's culture, someone else's money, someone else's history belongs to us. First off, they wouldn't even let us do it. Because foundational Black Americans go over to these places and we go over there with love. And next thing you know, they burning houses down. We know the horror stories of brothers and sisters who thought they was, hold on, wait a minute. Whoa. Just brought up to my attention, y'all. Check this out. Check this out right here, family. As we speak about that, fuck this dude. Look at this right here, fam. I got it loaded. Look at this video right here. These are Africans running on over to Mexico trying to get in on it. Watch this, family. Then I'm going to go back to dude.
U.S. border by the thousands every day. Southern Arizona remains the epicenter of migration between ports of entry. Border reports Julian Resendez was in southern Arizona and northern Sonora, where they are seeing an increase in African migrants passing through.
The small Mexican border town of Sonorita, Sonora, is suddenly experiencing the arrival of large numbers of citizens from African countries.
Migrants like Mahmoud from Mauritania and others from Ghana, Cameroon, Senegal, and Nigeria can be seen on the streets of Sonorita waiting for money from friends and relatives to move on. Residents and town officials say they have gotten used to seeing and even doing business with the new arrivals. They admit sometimes it's hard to communicate with them.
Mostly, they point to things. I want this, I want that.
The African migrants also are using cell phone interpretation apps to talk.
Por ahora estamos aquí.
Town officials say they have seen migrants pass through for generations, but they admit they had seldom witnessed a constant arrival of African citizens. They say it has to do with bottlenecks at other Mexican border cities. Regardless, they say the migrants are welcome in their town.
Freeze, family. I played that clip right there to go ahead and debunk what old buddy was just saying. Reason being, fam, if he could sit there and say that he don't know what history they're talking about, how come none of them folks who are going through Mexico, why don't you just stop in Mexico and try to get in on their policies? How come you go all the way from Africa, all the way to Mexico, jump over Nicaragua, Venezuela, or whatever place in Latin America you go to? How come you go over there and you don't try to get in on their culture? Why don't you try to go get in on their money? Why don't you try to go get in on their policies? It's funny how you skip all the way over there and then you come to America and then you want in on what we have created. Family, they're thinking about us way on the other side of the world. They're not thinking about Mexico. They're not thinking about Venezuela. They're not thinking about Puerto Rico. They're thinking about FBA. When we say that these people wake up every morning and we are rent-free in their mind, we are rent-free in their mind. So rent-free that they're willing to hop, skip, and jump over everybody just to get to America and get in on our policies. So when old boy sits there and says he don't know what history we're talking about, it's clearly he's talking about foundational Black American history because one, African history ain't got nothing to do with us. And two, you're going through Mexico, but you don't stop and worry them. You don't sweat them. You ain't asking for $1 from Mexico. You just come over here and you want all our money, but you never talk about anybody else. This is what we say when these people are off code. Now, back to Freedman Forehead. Watch how he continues, fam, to say all these misnomers and tries to crowbar Africa into our reparations.
Is it the FBA's? I can't remember. Which one is the... I think it's FBA. The ones that say that the people that no one has rights to reparations except African Americans who can trace their lineage to America, to the United States of America. Now, again, I don't know what part of history we're focusing on, because if you know anything about history, when Africans were first being brought to the New World, they were taken to the Caribbean first, then brought to the islands, then brought to the Americas. They would take them there and break up the trip. It's not really until later when the US really became a powerhouse in the enslavement. Because remember, the US was Britain, it was Spain, Florida was part of Spain, certain parts of Louisiana were France. You had the 13 colonies originally. You didn't even have the West Coast in that sense.
Fine, but what the hell that got to do with America? What does that have to do with the United States of America? That's what I was talking about, fam. He's trying to insert foreign policies and foreign citizens into the United States of America. You cannot take the abroad and tie it into the domestic. That is not how any country on the planet operates, but all of a sudden they want us to operate that way. That's why I say, fam, they're trying to literally rewrite the structure of the planet Earth just so they can steal from FBA. Dirty game.
And so we're talking about France, France, Portugal, Britain, and Spain that were controlling America. So they would take them first to the Caribbean, and then people would buy and they'd bring them to different places in the Americas. That's initially. So at some point, everybody has some sort of connection with the Caribbean. Now, later on, surely there were some that came directly. But how do you then delineate or separate those who come from the Caribbean and those who come from elsewhere? So these organizations, when they start criticizing Caribbean people or African people, I'm just like, how? Like how is it that everybody is not connected to this? Now, granted, there will be some recent African migrants, recent Caribbean immigrants, who you could say, okay, there's no connection to that, and they could, they might even have dual nationalities. Fair enough. But those who have been here for 2 or 3 or 4 generations, how do you then say they're not part of the people that built the America? I think even the FBAs, is it the FBAs?
That man said, how do you say people who came here years later, how do you say they are not a part of people who built America? Simple answer. That's because when we built America, they weren't here. Simple as that. I mean, ain't it pretty simple, fam? This man, again, is trying to reach. That's what you call reaching right there, okay? That man reaching so bad he done pulled a goddamn muscle, all right? He's trying to tell us that it's okay to include people in the building of America, even if they never built America. Last time I checked, if reparations is a debt owed for building America, you should probably start with the people who built America, not just some random person who got here last night. Anything they can say, fam, to take your reparations money, they will do it. That's the way they operate. That's the way they function. And if you look, fam, that's what they've always done. It goes back to the backstabbing culture. It goes back to the culture that they've always had. Now imagine this, fam. Foundational Black Americans, we would never, ever think about taking someone else's money from another country that we weren't even president. You got to understand, logic between us and them are completely different. That's why I said you have the certified, the counterfeit. You have the authentic versus the artificial, the real from the fake. And you got to separate this when you start talking about the global system of supremacy and all the puppets, all the mascots, all the minions. These people will do and say anything just so they can get $1. We would never do that. We do not wake up and say, you know what? Let's fly over to another country, just claim that we helped build them. And then when they tell us no, we'll throw a hissy fit, we'll have a temper tantrum, and then we'll call them xenophobic. Man, we ain't doing that. If you spend that much energy coming up with something like that, you could spend that energy and build in your own country. But they're not thinking that, fam, because the majority of them have jealousy, spite, and vitriol to foundational Black Americans, and it's time that we address it. That's why we are shutting down scam Africanism tonight. And we're not only going to show why scam Africanism is a fantasy and it's never worked, we're also going to show you how the fake ideology of scam Africanism is really op language. It's an op ideology. I don't care who was a scam African before. I'm not talking about the people who subscribed to it back in the day. I'm talking about right here, right now, in this era. That type of logic or ideology is actually becoming counterintuitive for us. It does not work for us. It is actually something that is to our hindrance. One, because the majority of people who participate in it do not like us. And two, it is a pipe dream. Basically, Pan-Africanism is this. You're waiting on all the Black people on the planet Earth to all get together, all move as one, and we're not going to fight for reparations or anything until it happens. That's basically what Dr. Kubar says. You ask Dr. Umar about his reparations plan comes out of a damn Marvel movie, all right? He says, we got to get this, we got to get this, we got to get this. Until then, he said he don't want no money. In a capitalistic society, that man said he don't even want the damn money. But I guarantee you, he'll take all the money when it comes to going to Africa. Hell, he takes all the money in donations for his school. So you got to watch these people. And when we say that they came over here with jealousy and envy, they come over here with jealousy and envy. How do I know this, fam? Because we're going to take it to them. Watch this lady right here. This is what I was telling everybody about. We got receipts, fam. This is a massive receipt right here. We say that they come over here and they don't like FBA. Do y'all know that they compare getting called African booty scratching to slavery? I'm literally going to show you a video. This is not AI. I'm going to show you a video of an African immigrant who comes over here and says, if y'all want us to get over getting called African booty scratcher, Don't be upset when we tell y'all to get over slavery. Literally making the comparison between getting called a bad name, allegedly, versus slavery. They don't respect what we went through, fam. They do not respect it. How do you know they don't respect it? Because they never sent anybody over here to help us in the first place. We don't have to go back in the past to find receipts that they ain't never rocked with us. They never sent a sailboat to come help us. They come over here right now and they utterly just say stuff like, we ain't gonna say this until y'all do that. And I got the receipt. Check this out right here, fam. Black Alpha Network exclusive. Watch this person literally compare getting called African booty scratcher to slavery. Watch all the passive aggressive back channel backdoor talk. And if you read through all of it, it's basically saying, fuck slavery. Y'all call me a bad name and I ain't getting over it. Watch this right here.
People are saying you can't compare slavery to somebody calling you an African booty scratcher saying you stink in the 3rd grade. But this is not a trauma competition. Whose trauma is bigger than the other? The truth is, these last couple of years, being African is cool. It's a trend. And honestly, we don't need the trend because it's our culture. With me personally, I'm accepting, but why certain Africans aren't accepting of African American? Because that treated us like shit and we remember it. And it's sad, like the kids that treated me like shit back in the day is the ones vibing out to Afrobeat and all that other stuff. Even the idea of Dirty December happening, like you would have never seen 5-6 years ago anybody taking a plane. Mind you, flights to Africa is $2K plus. You would have never seen any African American road tour going to Africa to party. But now that all of your celebrities and Afrobeat is like hitting top on the charts and all that other stuff, everyone wants to vibe out with it. And it's kind of disrespectful because it's just like, so once Afrobeat and being African is not a vibe anymore, are we going to be African booty scratchers again? Because I can tell you, my brother's experience in middle school, elementary school, and mine are not the same. Everybody wants to be African. Everybody loves being African. Everybody wants to learn our languages and everything. But back in the
Fam, what world is she living in where everybody wants to be African and we are around here trying to all be one big African? What world is she living in? Do you see how I say that scam Africanism is a fantasy land ideology? She's literally trying to paint this picture that all of us are running around here trying to get in on their culture. The way she's making it sound, fam, we all own 15 dashikis in our closet right now. We all speak every different form of African language. We're all plugged in and clicked in and tied in to every single tribal movement over there. What world is she living in? Afrobeats is not booming like that in the street. Brothers and sisters couldn't name you on a good day 3 Afrobeats artists. I know the hell I couldn't. Don't listen to it. 9 times out of 10, whenever somebody shows you an Afrobeats artist, you don't even know if they are a singer or a rapper or a dancer. We don't know that. She is trying to pump this agenda that we foundational Black Americans are trying to be like them, and that is not the case. And anytime you start off by saying something of the nature, well, I don't want to compare being called African booty scratcher to slavery, but then you just compare the two of them. This is what we talk about. You're going to disrespect our ancestors, the same ones that I showed you from South Carolina in the beginning of this video. She's coming over here from Africa, disrespecting them. And trust me, fam, if you disrespect them, you're disrespecting us, you're disrespecting our future. That is what they do in scam Africanism. That is why we're shutting it down. That's why certified foundational Black Americans are delineating. But it gets worse.
The day, I used to hate sometimes even saying my first name because I know once I say my first name, it comes with all these comments. Again, fighting fire with fire is not cool, it's not right. But remember, the same way African Americans cannot forget about slavery, Africans can't forget about what we went through when our parents brought us here. Competition between us needs to end. Like, we just all need to accept each other.
What? One more time, family. I told you I had the receipt. Listen to what she says again. The same way we can't get over slavery, they can't get over getting called African booty scratcher. One more time, family. Listen.
Again, fighting fire with fire is not cool, it's not right. But remember, the same way African Americans cannot forget about slavery, Africans can't forget about what we went through when our parents brought us here. Competition between us needs to end. Like, we just all need to accept each other and respect each other. But it's hard to do that fully when you telling people why the ignorance is even there and they tell you to get over it. No. I'm not going to get over it because you told me to get over it. I'm going to get over it when my healing is done. And how would you like for me to tell you to get over that we don't fuck with y'all? Doesn't sound cool. Sounds disgusting. It's probably the most nastiest part of this video. So that's how we feel when you guys tell us to get over what y'all did to us. Hopefully it changes and hopefully we come together, because Pan-Africanism is what needs to come up and what needs to be the real thing that we need to be discussing, not.
Whoa, there you go. There go to Pan-Africanism. You knew it was coming, y'all. One more time.
Hopefully it changes and hopefully we come together, because Pan-Africanism is what needs to come up and what needs to be the real thing that we need to be discussing, not the hate between each other. No shade.
Boom. That part. Fam, you can't build with that. You can't build with nobody like that. You can try. You can be on all the brothers and sisters on the planet Earth. You can be on One Big Black African. You can be on that Dr. Kubar Vasquez talk. You can't build with that. That person right there not only compared getting called a name to slavery, they also try to say what we done to them. They never mention global supremacy. Hell, they don't mention local supremacy. 9 times out of 10, wherever she came from, she was running from a place where global supremacy dominated. But she ain't mentioned that. No talk. No talk about how the whole continent done went through 2 scrambles for Africa. The first one was just Europe. The second one is Europe and China. No talk. No talk about how they have no politicians over there that look out for their interests. None. No talk about how Karen and Ken dominate them on every single level, steal all their natural resources, and don't do a damn thing about it. No talk. The only thing that she can talk about is what we did to them. The way she's talking, fam, it almost makes you think that she feels we're the dominant society. It makes you think that she feels we're the supremacists. It makes you feel that she thinks we're the racist. And didn't I tell you that in the system of supremacy, you got people who fight against it, and then you got puppets who fight for it. It has been clear, a line drawn in the sand. Foundational Black Americans are the only lineage and heritage that has ever stood against it. And it is clear, based on open demonstrations of behavior and open quotes and statements made by them, that they refer and prefer to be next to Zaddy, and they see us as the bad guy. Well, my certified foundational Black American translation, if you feel that foundational Black Americans are the problem, and you don't mention how the dominant society dominates you, you don't mention how the dominant society colonizes you, you don't mention how the dominant society steals everything from you. Certified foundational Black American translation. That's how we do it on the Black Alpha Network. No fucks given. We're going to say what they scared to say. We're going to speak what they scared to speak. And we're going to say it for the whole world to hear. Lineage first, lineage based, whether her, Mr. Fufu, Mr. Mutombo, like it or not. This is why we delineate, fam. This is why we delineate. And this is why they're upset right now. Delineation is a powerful thing. And when you delineate, fam, everybody has to realize that we're not coming back. There will be no U-turns. We're not turning around. We're not going back. It is over. They had their time to try to scam us. They had their time to try to steal from us when we were reaching out to them and they felt that they were better. When they walk around here and compare getting called a name to slavery, when they walk around here and they say that we hurt them, that until they get over this, we can't get over that. Until they stop talking that nonsense, fam, it's going to be delineation, 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 and we're going to continue to bring it all the way live. This is what happens.
Y'all want to know something that I find crazy? It's the simple fact that Black people are often bullied into inclusivity. Like, if you just notice, there is a generous animosity when it comes to Black people having our own shit, our own spaces, and things that are exclusively for us. Generous animosity when it comes to Black joy, Black autonomy, Black togetherness, Black gathering, Black spaces, Black excellence, Black success. Anytime there is a conversation about Black people doing something specifically for us, them motherfuckers shaking their boots. It's all about being, oh, well, they just want to segregate. Oh, they just want to be away from us. It's about togetherness. It's about all of us. All of us matter. It can't never just be about Black people. But then again, it ain't nowhere in the fucking world that you can go. Even in the U.S., you go to Chicago, you can go to New York, you can go to California. It's going to be a little Chinatown. It's going to be a little Italy town with their own district and their own entertainment area and restaurant area, malls, etc. But God forbid it's a black city. God forbid it's a black town. God forbid it's a black mall. God forbid it's a black entertainment district or anything that's black. It's automatically an issue. And you want to know something that I found? It's not even about us being together or having shit. It's the simple fact that in a world that has always served y'all a silver platter, that you're not the center of our areas and our spaces and the things that are for us. See, it just kills you all when we don't do something for your comfort over ours, for your interest over ours. So anytime that it's not about anyone that has always been privileged enough to be put on a pedestal, especially in America, anytime it's not about y'all, that's an issue. Anything independently that black people have tried to do has been burned, flooded, and everything else. Like, I even see when black people come together, or it's something that we do together, it's always an issue. Even with other black people, it's always an issue. See, everybody else can have their exclusive spaces, and black people are okay with it. I'm okay with going in a white town or Little Italy or to the Mexican side of town or whatever, and understanding that it's not about me. It's not about what I like or what I.
That right there, family, is everything that we've been talking about. And it's starting to go all the way across the country. This is why you're seeing people speak up now. This is why you're seeing people say, hey, man, foundational Black Americans been doing our thing. Why come we can't handle our own business like everybody else does? We're finally now, and a lot of us who've been on code for years, a lot of our aunts and uncles and mothers and fathers, those of us who are older, we've seen it a long time that these people have always tried to make us play by a different set of rules. And now we're saying we ain't playing by no rules other than ours. All right. If everybody else is going to be doing for self, we going to do for self. If everybody else is going to be prideful of their lineage, we going to be prideful. Look at all the hell we've been catching, y'all, just for representing our own lineage. Every single thing that's been happening in this country has something to do with foundational Black Americans delineating and being lineage first. It should not be this hard to just simply be who you are. Just being foundational Black American and speaking it, just by saying it, just by even uttering those terms, everybody gets mad. Look at all the hell we catch, fam, by just being FBA, just representing who we are, just representing our foundational Black American ancestors, our descendants, our offsprings. Look how much hell we catch for that. Shouldn't be like that. And if we catch that much smoke for being who we are, then we're going to call out everybody. We're not going to let nobody come around here and try to tell us they can be them, but we can't be us. You know why they don't want us to be us? Because if we're not us, somebody got to be. If we're not foundational Black Americans, somebody got to play that role. We understand that our fingerprints are everywhere. They just don't want the people who created those fingerprints to be present. Because if you're present, then you can stake claim to everything you do. You know how we always say the dominant society has never created nothing but the patent office because they stole everybody's ideas? I want you to think about how in slavery we would create things and then they would just steal it at the patent office. We're in a cultural patent office thing with the dominant society, all the Africans, all the people of color, all the blacks and browns, no elision. All right. Foundational Black Americans have created everything. Now they want it. But check it out. We're not talking about a light bulb. We're not talking about a car. We're not talking about a stoplight. We're talking about the country. They are trying to steal what we have created in terms of the country, our own existence, our own history. They're trying to pull that patent office theft that they did during slavery and beyond. They're only trying to do it now with everything from the first day to this second. This is what they're doing. They're trying to copycat what we've done and they're trying to co-opt it. And guess who the main players are in the whole situation? The dominant society. They used to be the main ones stealing things, but then we called them out a long time ago. So what they do now, they say, let's go get people who look like them. All right. We can go get people who look like Black folks. The brown folks, we gonna got them out the paint. They come around and say, we're all Black, brother. We say, man, get the hell out of here. All right. That didn't work. We got rid of the Black and brown no elision. They tried to hit us with the Black and brown. That didn't work. So now they said, okay, let's go get these Africans. They're docile. They're submissive. And the African loves caring and kin just as much as anybody on the whole planet Earth. You can always go get an African to go do what the dominant society wants you to do. You can always go get an African to roll out the red carpet. You can always go get an African to stab another Black person in the back. You can always get an African to be tribal. We got time today. So if they're willing to do all of that, and at the same time, the dominant society wants to patent off us and take us out the paint, they got the perfect recruit, they got the perfect puppet, and they got the perfect ideology. Scam Africanism. So all them people running around here thinking Pan-Africanism is about global Black unity. What we've come to find out, all of us in certified Black society, all of you, what we found out is scam Africanism is not about unity. It's actually being used as hostility towards us. That's what it is. Check this out right here, family. More receipts. Let's go. We working. This right here shows you a lady talking about why the dominant society loves going to get Africans, because they are so submissive. If the dominant society went and did some window shopping and they said we looking for a nice person that'll do whatever we want them to do, the first place they going to is Africa. Because in Africa, for thousands of years, it's been proven they'll do what they want them to do.
In a professional setting, I hear a lot about white folks really preferring to work with Africans because we really are a lot more submissive in a way.
I think they hate Black people more than African people.
They hate.
Freeze. Now, when we say that, everybody gets mad. No, hold up. No. Y'all got to see me. When we say the same thing, you divisive brother. When we say the same thing, oh, you FBAs are xenophobic. That ain't us saying that. That's them saying it. That's their people saying the same exact thing. Family, we don't make it up. We just provide the receipts. We don't come out here and just say things. That's what they do. We say things and we quote what they said to prove our point. We say that they're dismissive. They're very easy. They're very weak, very cool, calm, and collected when it comes to supremacy. And their own people say it. So fam, when you got all the evidence and then you got all the confessions, then you got all the truth. Proceed, y'all.
I hate the descendants of slaves.
The model minority myth exists heavily in the African community, to where like they've been brainwashed to think that Black is bad, everything else is good. They're the good ones. This is what you should be as a minority. Go to school, be polite, all the respectability politics.
Look at that right there, y'all. Nigeria unveils Africa's biggest Jesus statue. Look at that right there, family. That shows you what type of time they are on, what type of time. And they over there happy as hell. And I've actually, no lie, seen Africans say, oh, we don't do that. What are you talking about? We don't have no statues that does anything like that. Looks like one to me. Looks like one to me. Ain't that what it look like to y'all? I see it right then and there. Look at them over there, family. This is what they doing. This is what they're doing. They colonizing. Don't let nobody tell you different. They're going to come around foundational Black Americans and they're going to try to tell us, oh, no, that's you guys with all of that. Don't look like you guys. Looks like y'all. Looks like y'all over there unveiling it. Happy, tap dancing. Now, mind you, fam, somebody's going to come around and say, well, Black Americans, you guys do the same thing. Here's the biggest difference that don't nobody want to talk about, but we going to talk about it. The biggest difference is this, fam. If foundational Black Americans are out here on some Christian stuff, Christianity, going to these churches and all that, that's because we were indoctrinated with that during slavery. We were here getting all that. What's your excuse? Where you are the predominant population where you're from. You are the predominant population right where you standing. You ain't got no excuse for it. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is this, fam. Somebody came in your household, took that big ass statue, threw it on the table, and you started jumping for joy. That's what I'm saying. Mind you this, every single thing that we say that goes on over in Africa is happening where they dominate with all of the numbers. You have a numerical and a statistical advantage. With your numerical and statistical advantage, you're still losing. And you're not just losing basic, you're losing in the worst way. In a goddamn about 40 to 50 foot high Jesus statue kind of way. But we ain't done. He's throwing that thing. Look at that, y'all. That's right there for them, fam. Don't let them tell you they ain't got that. Don't let them tell you. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. You looking at it right there. Case in point, case in point, case in point. So you see already the type of time they're on, and they loving that too. They loving that. And mind you, that's happening in their home, okay? And then they're coming over here and they're trying to talk to us crazy. And then can we also say what nobody's been talking about, fam? This generation, we've been the ones really telling the truth about Africa and the diaspora. Don't nobody want to talk about it, all right? We said we're going to say the things that don't nobody want to talk about, the things people are scared. Because see, fam, if we speak what we're speaking right now, that disrupts all the narrative. And when the narrative is disrupted, no longer can they get in on what we create. No longer can they steal from us. Let's just say it. You're getting dominated. You're okay with getting dominated. And the majority of you do not see or feel that you're black. That's what it is. Has anybody ever, until this generation showed up, spoke the truth about the diaspora like we are? Has anybody really, fam? I'm not talking about 1 people, 2 people, 3 people. Has anybody really told the truth like we're telling the truth about Africa? Nope. That's the answer. Hell no. A lot of them don't feel they're black. And we've been saying it, just nobody wants to hear it. How many times have we heard somebody say, I'm not black, I'm Nigerian. I'm not black, I'm Jamaican. I'm not black, I'm Haitian. I'm not black, I'm from Senegal. But whenever we say that foundational black Americans are the only lineage, heritage, and culture that say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, then all of a sudden, oh, you're xenophobic, brother. Or when we say reparations, then they become black. See, it doesn't matter, fam. They flip-flop all over the place. You can't talk to them like that. You can't. That's why I say you can't build. Understand in life, fam, and I mean this. I want you to take this in your personal life, your professional life, and just anything you do. Quickly identify who you can and cannot build with. Once you determine and identify someone you cannot work with or build with, dismiss them because they're only going to steal your time. And time you can never have back. You know how it goes. You can lose all the money in the world and get it back. You lose your time, you cannot get it back. And we've lost a lot of time dealing with scam Africanism, having people try to cloak us in it, having people trying to put that jacket on us. It's time that we are never going to get back, y'all. But that's okay. Why is it okay? Because this generation is moving faster than ever, and we making up all that lost time. So the next generation don't got to play these games. Trust me. The next generation is going to know who's really on that time. We're not going to have this next generation coming up and believing all those lies. They're not going to run around here and think, man, we're not even American. Why? Because we're African. That will not happen in this next generation. That will not go down. We're not going to have the next generation saying, we all black, man, come on over here. And then the people that you help fight for get here, go team up with the dominant society. The next generation is not going to have to deal with all the shit we done had to deal with. It will not happen. Why? It's because we're too certified, we're too real, and we're saying every single thing that they don't want to talk about. That's how you get change. Change this way too, fam. Check this out. When we say that they ain't black, right here, family, watch how it is always omitted, and people are saying what we've already said, that they do not consider themselves black. Check it out.
This whole philosophy of saying Kemet is the land of the blacks, you can't find it in any other African language. You find that it's people who come from a biblical, historical background, trying to separate from that biblical, historical background, re-identify themselves out of that biblical, historical background with the backdrop of a biblical, historical background. We call ourselves Abantu Abantsundu. Now, Untsundu does not mean black. We call ourselves Abantu Bomkuba. Now, Umkuba does not mean black. We call ourselves Abantu Bomthonyama. Umthonyama does not mean black.
That's too many not mean blacks for me. That's too many not mean blacks for me. I'm sorry. That's way too many, family. That's no. I don't want to hear somebody gonna say, well, that's just translation for where they're from. No, I'm sorry. If you speak in English, like a lot of them come over here, they speak in English, y'all, when they come over here and say that we call them African booty scratcher, right? Ain't that the case? They speak in English when they make all those TikTok videos where they're talking about how bad we treated them. Y'all speak English very well. So don't come around and tell me that, oh, no, that's just translation. They really do mean black. That's just their way of saying it. Hell no. Black is a universal language. Let me say this too, fam. This is 2024, all right? And I'm tired of hearing the excuses of, no, that's what the media has presented. If you are still being brainwashed by the mass mainstream media in 2024, either A, you're living in a village, and then now I got to question why you ain't been able to kick the colonizers out and why you ain't living so good. Because remember, Akon tells us that it's Wakanda, and they got everything we need. So don't tell me that you still living in the village and you still got to go by ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CNN. No. In 2024, we have 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds that know what Paris looks like. They know what Nigeria, Dubai, New York City, California, Huntsville, Alabama. This notion that you're still living in some stone age, like this is 1982, and you don't really know what's happening in the world, that's a lie. Brothers and sisters, people all across the planet Earth are genuinely connected. We are interconnected. You're talking about technology, the proliferation of technology and where we're pushing. And when you look at the proliferation of technology, fam, we are on a different level. We are moving very, very well. Everybody knows everything about this planet Earth. You can hop on a plane, you can hop on a bus, you can hop on anywhere. You do that when you come on over here. So when you start talking about that, do not tell me that, oh, it's the media and we don't know what's going on in America. You know what's going on in the United States of America. You just don't give a damn. That's what it is. So when I hear you ain't black, he ain't black, we don't say black, I'm Nigerian, I'm this, I'm that, that's basically saying that you do not know who you are and you don't give a damn. And remember this, fam, if somebody tells you that they're not black, then they also don't know how to fight supremacy. Are you surprised that a continent of people who say they're not black is also the same continent that lets every dominant society person come on in? You cannot fight supremacy if you don't know that you black. It does not work that way.
We call ourselves Banabatari. Tari does not mean black. We call ourselves Beketu. Beketu does not mean black.
God damn, how many does not mean blacks? Can you have one? Can we just get one does not mean black? This man done broke out 32 does not mean black. We call ourselves Kamalatira does not mean black. We call ourselves Hafatima. That does not mean black. Find a goddamn thing that does mean black. And then maybe you won't be colonized. Maybe you might fight back. Maybe you might have one resource in your country. Maybe you might run out the colonizers. How can you be black empowered if you don't see yourself as black? That's the problem. That's what we call out. And that's why we're shutting down scam Africanism.
We have always called ourselves by what we called ourselves. Singamaxhosa, Rebapedi, Mavenda, Mashangani. We never called ourselves by color.
Oh man, that just irritated the hell out of me. That just irritated the hell out of me. That man said he don't know what black is, don't know black, ain't seen black. There should never be somebody who looks like us. There should never be anybody that melanated from the most melanated continent on the planet Earth, and they genuinely, sincerely had that many terms for what does not mean black. Sorry, I'm just sorry. You can't do that and then fight supremacy. So it's funny that we say black, and then they come over here and say, I do not mean black. And then I guess we're all supposed to be on the same page. We're all supposed to just get together. We're supposed to overlook that. Y'all know how we say in Foundational Black America. James Brown said, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. He did not say whisper, all right? He did not. So when you got young brothers and sisters out here who identify it, but yet you got old ass people like that right there who said he does not mean black, then guess what, family? If you don't know black, then you don't know white supremacy. And that is why they're being dominated and conquered. And we're sitting back and we're watching it happen every single day. And nobody can say anything about it because that is the empirical facts based on what they have shown us and based on, quite frankly, what we've all known. We've all known it. We've all seen it. We have all put it on the table. So at this point, family, there's nothing else we can genuinely do but do our own thing. The only thing you can do is your own thing. You cannot deal with or build with people who consider themselves every other thing except for black. And then you notice, fam, they don't even say something like, well, okay, we don't call ourselves black traditionally like you guys, but here is our translated version of being black. See, we can accept that. If you come across and you say something like, okay, listen, we say this word, Y'all say black, but it means the same thing. That I can accept because basically it's just translation. It just comes down to the way you say things, right? These people are saying they don't even see themselves as black. So basically they don't see color. Who else says we don't see color? If the dominant society walked in right now and said, I don't see color, you're going to say racist. If the dominant society walked in and said, no, I got a friend that's black, racist. But yet they come around here and say, I don't see color. I don't mean black. This does not mean black, brother. Lost, puppet, minion. That's why you're getting colonized every single day. And it don't stop. It don't stop. Receipt on top of receipt. Smash that like button, family. We building, we working, we shining, we grinding. More talk. Y'all know this person right here. Y'all know this person right here. This person right here been running around all day long talking about foundational Black American talk. But this person right here at the same time, y'all, is running around saying he don't consider himself a Black American. Well, check it out.
Are you American? Are you African? Are you African American? What are you?
I'm an African raised in America. You know, clearly.
So you're not American?
I wish I was, but my mind is not African. I mean, American. It's clearly African.
But you have the accent. You have, you know,
I went to school in America. All my whole earlier childhood, I was raised in Africa. Then I came to America. Every summer, we would go back to Africa for a vacation. And then when I graduated high school, it was a choice whether I want to go to Africa or stay in the U.S. And just the opportunities in the U.S. were so much greater than Africa.
Well, you're certainly the perfect example of the American dream coming true. And, you know, what would be your advice to a young African who's immigrating to the United States today?
Ultimately, you can't change who you are. And I think the biggest obstacle is that when people come to the U.S., they kind of alienate their origin and they conform to what's there. And when you do that, first of all, you will never get accepted.
But isn't that the best way to integrate?
Absolutely not. Because first of all, you can't, it's no way you can move forward and you're not you.
Are you American? Are you African? Are you African American? What are you?
I'm an African raised in America.
An African raised in America. Okay, where I'm from, family, that is what we call an anchor baby. Okay, so basically, you're an anchor baby, and basically on top of that, you have no business speaking on foundational Black American policies at all. Running around here. Now, mind you, fam, this is the same guy who told us we all need to go back to Africa. And he's also the same guy who told us that we just want to be oppressed by staying here in America. But then he turned around and says that he's not a Black American. He just was raised here. Okay, so basically, you are an anchor baby, and anchor babies can't talk about lineage. Case closed. Fam, we ain't debating with these people. We ain't debating. Go debate and go argue with Dr. Umar, okay? He'll debate with you better than we ever could. This is the era where we letting everybody know. Time is ours, and we doing what we want, all right? We're not asking, we're not begging, we just telling. So Akon is disqualified from ever coming around us and ever talking about us. They could put him on every single news clip, magazine, every whack-ass song, whack-ass artist. He can go on Drink Champs with Noriega every goddamn day. He could talk about foundational Black Americans, but guess what? We ain't hearing him. He ain't qualified, therefore he can't talk to certified. And this is what we mean, family. So as we broke down, we done already seen on this episode, family, we got 463 people in here. Smash that like button. Appreciate the love, y'all. Just over an hour. We've already seen somebody say that African booty scratcher is equal to slavery. We've seen another guy give us 352 examples of words that do not mean Black. We've seen Akon admit that he is an anchor baby. And we also seen Africans going through the Mexican border, bypassing them to come and get our money. The next thing I want to talk about is how these people openly mock us, y'all. Oh, they mock us and they talk like us and they walk like us. Remember that girl earlier, and she was trying to make it look like Afro beats was the vibe and everybody's on Afro beats and everybody loves that. And basically she was trying to make it look like people want to be African and they're trying to bypass our culture. And we all know everybody wants to be us. Everybody walks like us. Family. Africans don't have to gatekeep their culture because ain't nobody trying to have their culture. Let's just be honest, y'all. We've been on a whole gatekeeping mission. We talking about older people gatekeeping, younger folks. We got young FBA children who got to gatekeep. Everybody, every time you wake up, you see somebody from a different continent dressing like us, walking like us, talking like us. Every single woman on this planet wants to be a foundational Black American woman, and they copy our sisters. Every single man wants to be a foundational Black American brother, and they copy our brothers, okay? We deal with gatekeeping. So anybody coming around here and trying to say that Africans are the most, stole from culture on the planet, only thing people are stealing from Africa are your minerals and your resources. Nobody's trying to steal your culture, your dashiki. You can have them, okay? Trust me. And 9 times out of 10, African culture here in America is the dominant society trying to cloak us in it so y'all can come on in here. So we done already debunked that. We done already put that to the corner. That's what we do. But the other thing that no one talks about is how these people have talking like us, walking like us down pat. They steal the way we talk. They mimic the way we talk. These people are literally at home in the mirror trying to talk like us, use our dialect, and they got all different regions. You got Africans who talk like they're from New York. You got Africans who talk like they're from California. You got Africans who got a Southern accent, and it sounds just like they're from Mississippi. Yes, they do. They are over there listening to a couple rap songs, watching a couple rap videos on the internet, listening very carefully and watching how we talk. And then, family, they're going on TikTok and they're mocking us. Yes, the hell they are. And I got the receipts. Check this out right here, y'all. Check this out. This is how easily these people can jump back and forth in between talking like us and speaking like us. And they think it's a game. They think it's cool. They think it's cute. In reality, y'all, these are just people trying to steal foundational Black American mannerisms, so therefore they can steal foundational Black American culture. Check this out right here, family.
Okay, honey, no problem. I love the Black American accent normally, okay? I love the vibes, the energy, and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I be wishing, oh God, I wish that I was Black American, but we don't need to wish no more. If you can't talk like that, there ain't no problem. I'm Nigerian actually, but I love the Black American accent. So when I be bored, I try to entertain myself. I've been speaking some Black American accent with butter juice in my hand.
Freeze! Look how disrespectful that is, family. That is a Nigerian. That is a Nigerian. That is mocking us. She said, when I am bored, I start mimicking the foundational Black American mannerisms and verbiage. Listen to that right there, fam. This is what they do. Yes, you got it right, brother. Yes, indeed. Tether clones. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with tether clones. That is a tether ass clone right there, mimicking foundational Black Americans. This is what we talk about. And trust me, fam, if you're doing it like that, you're also doing it at the board house. You're also doing it when you try to get a job. This is what we say when we say these folks is coming over here trying to erase and replace. This is what they're doing. They're talking like that at the job interview. They're flipping it however they can. We don't have to go around and try to speak like them to get put in good favor. They have to come over here and speak like that so they can get put in good favor by Karen.
Okay, honey, no problem. I love the Black American accent normally, okay? I love the vibes, the energy, and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I be wishing, oh God, I wish that I was Black American, but we don't need to wish no more. If you can't talk like that, there ain't no problem. I'm Nigerian actually, but I love the Black American accent. So when I be bored, I try to entertain myself. I've been speaking some Black American accent with butter juice in my hand, and I be like, oh.
Damn, talking about, what she say, butter juice? What? That right there, y'all, is typical. That's how they do. That's how they do, fam. Disrespect. And that's all we've been laying out on the table, fam. You can't give me the double version. Do not hit me with the it goes both ways. Remember this. The it goes both way excuse is the biggest excuse by someone who is guilty. 9 times out of 10, when someone says it goes both ways, they're the person who's guilty. Don't trust that, okay? They want to spread the blame. There's nothing better than someone trying to disrespect you, but yet they can spread the blame around. This is what people tend to do typically when it comes to foundational Black Americans. This is what the dominant society has always done. The dominant society is 110% responsible for anti-Black racism. But yet they say it go both ways because what that does is let them off the hook. And you see the same exact thing with these scam Africans. They run around here and they say it go both ways. It's not just me, it's you too. All of us can work together. That person we played earlier compared African booty scratcher to slavery. And then when she ended it, she said, no disrespect. Yes, disrespect. Very disrespectful. And you know it. Do not sit there and disrespect my lineage, heritage, and culture and then try to sprinkle some sugar on it at the end and think everything's sweet. We ain't sweet, okay? Go back to 1991. They can wear a dashiki better than I ever could. Go back to 1982. They'll do it. Go back to 1970. They'll play that game of we want to be friends with y'all. Newsflash. This generation is not falling for that. You're not going to do that. You're not going to cop out. You're not going to flip-flop. We are going to call you out on all the disrespect. Not 20%, not 30%, not 50%. You're going to get the full 100. I say certified Black society. I say the certified 100, meaning you're going to get the whole 100 if you disrespect us. That's not the only one, fam. You got more people that do that. Check out this guy right here. He always is on TikTok. He got probably like 30 videos, and every one he's mocking the way we talk. This is a Black Brit. So it goes to show you scam Africanism. Mind you, y'all, when we call out scam Africanism on this episode, we're not just talking about Africa. We're talking about the whole diaspora. Remember that. When you say that Africans do this, yep. When you say that Haitians do it, yep. When you say Jamaicans do it, yep. But you also have a lot of these Black Europeans. Okay, these Black Brits, they do the same thing. Y'all seen all them videos with them Black Brits, and they're like, I think America is like the best country ever. Okay, you see it all the time. You need to have T. Crumpets to sit your ass down is what you need to do, and quit worrying about us. And notice that everybody who talks about us, they dress and look like us. You know it's a shameful, dirty thing, fam, when you disrespecting somebody, but you looking like them in the process. That's what they do. Check this out right here, y'all. This person does the same exact thing.
Black and British, if you've been to America, there's certain things that Black Americans say to you that is so dumb, cuz. You Black and you British? How the fuck does that work, nigga? You Black and British, man, that shit fire, yo. Man, yo, Tyrone. Hey, yo, that nigga Black and British, nigga. You get them Americans here that act like they know England so well, cuz. Word, you from the UK? Oh, that shit dope, man. When I went to the UK, I saw the Eiffel Tower, cuz. When I went to the UK, I saw that shit tall as fuck, nigga.
Look at that, fam. Look at how he's mocking us. First off, he's mixing East Coast accents with Southern accents. He's sprinkling some Midwest. He's all over the damn place because he's been studying all over the place. And deep down, he wants to be a Black American. And this is what happens when you cannot become something. You start hating on something. This is the guy who wanted to be the basketball player, was not good enough to be the basketball player. So he sits on his couch and he talks dirt on all the people on television. This is what this guy is doing right here, and he represents a ton of them.
You get the ones there that are just so baffled. They can't even comprehend the fact that you're Black and British, bro.
Damn, them Harry Potter ass niggas, man. I can't believe that shit. If I touch you, can you feel that shit, nigga? Like, can you feel that?
You get some that just ask wild questions, bro. I heard that niggas don't even die in London, niggas. Is that true? Niggas don't die in London, do they? On the most part, man, you might not friendly as fuck. I can't lie, you might not actually friendly. You're more friendly on...
Enough. Look at that right there, fam. That's it. That's it. Clear as day. That shows you already, fam. This is the type of time that they on. These are two different people. That was a Black Brit and a person from Nigeria. And they both doing what? Talking about us. And ain't that always the common denominator, fam? Where? Because you don't see these common denominators. You don't see the Africans always talking about the Jamaicans, the Black Brits always talking about the Haitians. It's never like that. It's never spread out. They always want to spread things, right? They always want to say, well, here, there. But it seems like the hate is always directed right at us. That's what it always seems like. So they can sit here right now, fam, and they can talk about foundational Black Americans and what we're doing and what we're up to, but they don't never have that smoke. They don't never get upset at the Haitian when he says that he's going to delineate. They only get mad at us when we say we're going to delineate. They don't ever get mad at the Jamaican when he starts to gatekeep his culture. They only get mad when we gatekeep our culture. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and this is why foundational Black Americans are being hated on, because we wear the crown. People can take a note, they can listen, they can follow instructions, and they will see that we are the ones who have been keeping the lights on, and it don't stop. Check this out right here, family. This shows you that a lot of people are picking up on the hate that we receive, and they need to start getting a straightening.
Africans in the diaspora, you guys need to stop telling the people who think that they are originally native to the Americas that they are Africans. You guys need to stop. There, you cannot force them to be anything else. Let them be who they want to be. The time has come for Africans to stop focusing, or Africans in the diaspora to stop focusing on who is not a part of the movement, who doesn't want to claim to be African. No, enough. We need to start moving forward, moving on with the people who claim to be Africans, with the people who are proud to be Africans, with the people who want to be Africans. The ones that don't want to be, let it go, let it be, leave them alone. Move with the collective of people who are like-minded like you. Thank you.
It's sad that it's gotten to the point, y'all, where literally people are running around and telling other Africans, quit trying to Africanize Black Americans, because that's all they try to do is Africanize Black Americans. Family, they can run around all day long and try to get us to be African. They can try to force us to be African. They can hit us with Kwanzaa, fake. They can hit us with all these dashikis, the 15 dashikis they think all of us own, okay? They can try to say all of that. They can try to get in on Juneteenth. They can try to get in on all of our foundational Black American commemorative days, but none of that will ever turn us something that we're not, because they're going against nature. You got to understand, you're going against the will of nature if you're trying to get foundational Black Americans to not be foundational Black Americans. And it has not worked at all. And we know it does not work because we see when they come over here, they're thinking about how they can play us and how they can get in with Karen. I told you I got receipts of a Black immigrant who says the first thing that you should do as a Black immigrant is make friends. And she says with Karen and with Betty. I've been saying right here on the Black Alpha Network for 3 years that immigration is all about proximity to the dominant society. These people watch the dominant society on the news and wish that they live next door to them. And then they begrudge us because we live next door to the dominant society and we don't give a damn. The problem is, fam, again, number 957 on why foundational Black Americans are going to say what nobody else wants to say. And I'm going to say it. The number is so big, y'all, of things that we have spoke on that everybody else has been hushed on. Everybody's been no talk about, that they can't even see us coming. It's so real that when you talk about immigration, we know that these people want to come over here and live next door to Karen. How do you know? Because when they get here, they start chasing after Zaddy and they start twirling and swirling. I told you, you mix a tether with a swirler, you get a twirler. And they all come over here and they do that because they've been watching TV, the same TV where they say, we don't know about Black people in America. We don't know what you went through. That same television, they've been watching Karen and Ken. They've been watching Dawson's Creek. They was watching Friends. They was watching Seinfeld. They was watching all them W shows. And they were saying, how can I get over there and go get a date? And they are willing to fly all the way over here to America. In some cases, fly to Mexico, walk through the desert, just so they can get to America and live next door to Karen and Ken. And I got me receipts of a Black migrant immigrant saying the same exact thing. Check this out, family. Here it is. Here it go. Watch what she says, y'all. She openly says when you get here, you need to get in with Karen and Ken. That's what you need to do. She is giving tether tutorials where she's giving advice to how to flee your homeland and what to do when you get here. Watch this.
If you are an immigrant and you're trying to make it and you do not have a work permit, listen to me. Listen to what I'm about to tell you, because I'm about to save you a whole lot of heartache and trauma, because you're going to be traumatized if you do not have your papers and you do not implement some of these things that I'm about to tell you. Boo, listen. Number one on the list, make friends. Make friends with the Americans. Make friends with your next door neighbor. Make friends with Karen. Make friends with Betty. With Karen. Make friends with Betty. Make friends with Karen. Make friends with Betty. Make friends and choose wisely.
Boom. Listen to that right there, y'all. Check that out right there. Did I not say that they want to come over here and be next to the dominant society? She said they want to come over here and be next to the dominant society. Did I not say that they want to be neighbors with the dominant society? She said they want to be neighbors with the dominant society. Did I not say that they want to come over here and make friends with Karen and Ken? She said Karen and Betty. Betty, y'all know they love them some Betty White, because there was a lot of tethers that were upset when Betty White passed. Okay, they were doing the tap dance. So she said, come over here, make friends, be with Betty, be with Karen, and pick your friends wisely. Let's understand, that was a tether dog whistle, okay? That was a tether zebra whistle. She's basically saying, family, get over here and stay away from the Akata. And we've heard them on multiple occasions say, stay away from the Akata. Come on over here and make friends with Karen and make friends with Betty. And if you look, they got all types of tether tutorials. If you listen, fam, they'll do it all day long. They do it all day long because they want them to come over here and be nice. That's what they do. So when we say that immigration is all about proximity, when we say that they want to get over here and be friends with Karen, when we say they want to be friends with Ken, and obviously we're going to insert Betty now, when we say that they want to do that, we're only saying what they just said, fam. And she said, be very careful and choose your friends wisely. That means stay away from black folks.
Because these people are going to put you on game, and you can ask them any questions, in this country, or if you don't know, have these people on your team. So if immigration come for you, you can call them.
She said half them people are on your team, so if immigration comes calling, you can go ahead and run to them. They're looking for refuge. Listen to that, fam. She said it. That ain't us making it up. That is not us making it up, fam. That is what she said. We always use their own words. We would never sit here and just make things up. That's what they do. We'll never sit here and just say things off the cuff. That's what they do. They do that more than we ever would imagine. So you see that she's saying, make friends with them, stay away from the black folks. That is what we always say, confirmation, another receipt. They get mad, fam, that we expose them, but we expose them using their own words. When you can expose somebody by quoting what they said, then that is a very potent thing. We potent as hell, y'all. Yes, we are. And you got to look at it from a lot of different avenues and a lot of different angles. The main one and the key one is that these people understand that they're going to come over here and they're going to assimilate. You got to know this. It would never serve any person to come from Africa and be on the same side as us, because the dominant society can always waive immigration and deportation over them. I've seen it before. I've seen people come over here and say, no, I cannot go to your protest. Why? Because they send me home. They know that, fam. They are, let me tell you, when I say scared, when I say terrified, when I say petrified, that's what they are. We've seen videos of these people getting deported and they breaking out into tears, all right? Because they're like, they don't want to lose their chance to be with Karen and Ken. Why would they risk that? They don't want to risk being with Karen and Ken. Hell no. They look at standing next to foundational Black Americans and assisting us in this lineage-based struggle fight against supremacy. They look at that as jeopardizing being next to Karen. Think about this. If a tether comes here and they come to one of our protests and somebody from their job says, why were you at those foundational Black American protests, Mr. Mutombo? What about it, Fufu? Fufu and Mutombo is going to make up every lie they can. They do not come over here. See, that's a mistake. And that is what Black folks in the past were completely wrong about. And that's what we are correct about, fam. This is what we say. The biggest, let me say this. The biggest mistake that a lot of brothers and sisters made, and I'm not talking about the brothers and sisters who were genuinely trying to uplift all the Black people on the planet, but you got to be careful, all right? And I'm going to choose my words wisely, because I can say an F up, I can say a screw up, I can say that, I can say failure, but I'm going to say mistake. The biggest mistake that brothers and sisters right here in America made is that we thought these people were coming over here to assist us. We thought we had backup. We thought we had friends that were going to help us go against the dominant society. That's why we fought for them. You see, we understand that we were always outnumbered. We always understood that we were working with a smaller population. We're not like them. Over there, they got all the population and still lose. We win with the smaller population against all odds. That's what we are. So we thought people were going to come over here and assist us. We was waiting. Go back, go talk to any old head, any OG, and they will tell you, we thought the Jamaican was going to come over here, stand next to us. We thought the Haitian was going to come over here, stand next to us. We really thought Africa was going to come over here and stand next to us. We really believed that we had backup and assistance from the diaspora. We really believed that. And then we found out, and it took us a hell of a long time to find out, that they are not coming over here to fight supremacy. They're coming over here to assimilate into supremacy. And we are just collateral damage in the process. And then if you add on this extra part that not only are they trying to assimilate to it, now they've been afforded the opportunity to take our place in the system of supremacy. Now you got a whole different game now. And that's what's been happening for years, family, for years. And this generation, again, is the first generation that is speaking it and saying what's real. And we're not worrying about the blowback. We're not worrying about people getting upset. We're not worrying about people getting in their feelings. We understand as foundational Black Americans, they're going to hate you just for waking up in the morning. So you might as well give them something to be mad about. And we're going to proceed to piss them off, because if it boils down to somebody's feelings or speaking the facts, then their feelings going to get hurt and we're going to speak them facts. That is what we have always done. We have no friends. If you want a friend, look in the mirror. Look at this next person right here, fam. This next person is running around saying how we wonder how immigrants are so strong. We wonder how they build their own country. We wonder why they have done what we haven't done. Look at this right here, y'all. When we say these people are delusional, extra delusional, look how this woman says that they build their own countries. No lie. She's about to say they build their own countries. They're so smart and we can learn something from them. Fam, when you talk about scam Africanism, it makes no sense because it ain't real.
A lot of people born in America always ask these questions or just wonder, why are African immigrants so smart? Why do they work so hard? Why are they always trying to build their home countries? Why can't they live a good life? Listen, most of us African immigrants are coming from a place where we had to work hard for what we had. We had to dig to get bread. We had to trek. We were not walking, we were trekking. I've had to trek for hours upon hours to the farm and back. A lot of people simply just suffered. Like they literally suffered. And you think we can come abroad and live our best lives? No, we want to make our home better.
You want to make, whoa, hold up. Y'all just sat there and heard that person say that they work hard and we wonder how they built their own country. If you built your own country, then why are you fleeing here? This is what I'm saying. It makes no sense, fam. Facts don't matter to these people. It does not matter. Facts don't mean nothing. They just say whatever they want to say. They say however they want to say it. They speak whatever they want to speak, and they just continue to go. And they don't like when we call them out. See, that shows you somebody who has been saying whatever they want to say, and nobody's been stopping them and checking them. We've been stopping them and checking them. You're not going to say that. She literally just said, people wonder why. And mind you, when they say people, they're talking about us, all right? That's what it is, because they would never say that about the dominant society. Once again, out of every clip I played, have y'all heard anybody say supremacy? Have y'all heard anybody talk about the system of supremacy or racism? They ain't even used the elementary terms. Never have. They're only talking about us because they only think about us. They only have spite, jealousy, envy, and vitriol for us. So you see that she says, we wonder how they build their homelands, yet they flee to our homeland, yet they want our reparations, yet they want our tangibles, our benefits, our resources, our history, our ancestors, our future, our present. Come on. This is why we are shutting scam Africanism down. How you gonna sit here and drop receipt after receipt after receipt like I dropped on this episode and you ain't seen one person talking about supremacy? Not at all. And the brothers and sisters who do speak about supremacy over there, they catch wreck from all the other people. Let's be honest. Anytime you see somebody who is anti-supremacy over in the continent, they got all the other people who get mad at them. That's what nobody else wants to say. That's what we're going to continue to say. That's what we're going to continue to speak on. Everybody knows that speaking against the dominant society over there, that is the worst thing you can do. They're not going for that. No, you see how we all speak against supremacy. We all call supremacy out. We all represent who we are as people. They do not do that. And they have a whole system at play, fam, where they attack people who speak out against supremacy. Go ahead and speak against supremacy in Africa and see if other Africans don't come caping for Zaddy. That's just what they're going to do. That's just what they're going to do. And it's always going to be that way because that is the only way they know how to function, y'all. Yes, indeed. Check this out right here, fam. This is another example of what we're speaking of. This shows you that scam Africanism is not even practiced by them over there. Check it out.
Means to be a Pan.
Hold on, wait a minute. Skip all that. Real nice. Check this out.
Is even farmland. Just
matter of fact, we're gonna skip past all of that, fam, and let me show you this one right here because it gets even realer than that, y'all. This right here, what would it be, y'all? This right here is Dr. Kubar Vasquez. And I want to show you how Dr. Kubar feels that scam Africanism is every African on the planet getting on the same page. Check it out.
What is Pan-Africanism?
Pan-Africanism, if I was to sum it up in 3 basic principles. Number 1, all African people are one family. Whether you're in South Africa speaking Zulu or Xhosa, whether you're in Nigeria speaking Yoruba or Igbo, whether you're in Kenya speaking Maasai or Kikuyu, whether you're in Senegal speaking Wolof or Mandingo, whether you're in South Bronx speaking Ebonics, or in Haiti speaking French, or Brazil speaking Portuguese, we one family. And it doesn't matter what your religion is, whether you're Muslim or Christian or traditional African spiritualist, whether you pledge allegiance to this flag or that flag, whether you're light skin or dark skin, straight hair or nappy hair like mine, one family.
Yeah.
And we should identify on the level of our Africanity first. Being African is more important than anything else. Why? Because God made you an African. Everything else you belong to, you chose. You can leave Christianity tomorrow. You can leave Islam tomorrow. You can renounce your South African citizenship tomorrow. I could give up my American citizenship, so-called, tomorrow. You understand? I could never give up being an African. God made us African, and that's what we should identify with first.
Do you believe in the history and the science that man originated in Africa?
Oh, absolutely. It's in
Family, that right there is your typical scam Africanism. That right there shows you that there is no possible way that that person would ever get on board when you start talking about lineage-based reparations, because he, like many others, believe is that reparations belongs to all Africans. And he's on record saying that all Africans should get reparations. Now, mind you, y'all, a lot of people over in Africa right now, as we speak, are receiving all types of benefits from the United States government. Joe Biden went over there and said he gonna give them $55 billion. Did you see one time Dr. Umar come out and denounce the $55 billion to Africa? Never has. All the money, I'm talking about foreign aid that Africa receives from the United States, I've never seen Dr. Kubar denounce it. But yet, he says that we should give our reparations money to them over there. This goes to show you, fam, they don't have a problem with taking money from the dominant society. They have a problem with us getting money, and they do not get in on it. When we take the money, then it becomes a problem. When they get the money without us, then it's a good thing. That is why we are delineating, separating. Like I said, fam, separations, regulation, that gets you your reparations. We know the background over there. We know what's popping off over there. Look at this right here, family. More than 500 million Africans have no birth certificates. I'm not saying that to spite them. I'm not saying that to talk down on them. That's not what I'm doing. What I am doing and what I am saying is that people can come over here and tell us our history, but at the same exact time, they don't even know their birthday. How you gonna talk about when I was born, what my ancestors did, what we created, and you don't even know your own birthday? Unqualified. This is what you get, fam. You get a lot of people who just are not qualified to speak on us. And the people who are not qualified to speak on us are always the main ones speaking on us. Foundational Black Americans are just calling it out in this generation, and we got every right to. We got every right to say what we want to say. Look at that. 500 million Africans do not have birth certificates, but yet they come over here and try to tell us what our ancestors did, how they deserve to get in on it, and how it's all about all of us. Family, when you know your birthday, then you can talk to me. If you do not know your birthday, then you cannot talk to me. Simple facts. I ain't making it up. I'm just keeping it $1.55 in the third, y'all. Know your birthday, then we can speak. Until then, it just ain't really the jam that we on, y'all. It's not, and it's never going to be. We got to continue to make sure that the person who knows thy past can stay worrying about their own present. We know ours, so therefore, they need to just speak about theirs. So what you see is a collection of people who continuously talk about us, but yet they don't even know where they come from. Big difference between the two of us. Y'all know y'all birthdays. Y'all know what year y'all was born. So does your mama, so does your great-grandma. Mind you, that is 500 million Africans today. Let's not talk about the past. That means uncle ain't got one, cousin ain't got one, all right? That means brother ain't got one, sister ain't got one, all right? That means mama ain't got one, daddy ain't got one. How the hell can you sit there and try to tell me about my presence, about my past, about my future in my homeland when you don't even know your own birthday. And I'm not saying that to spite nobody. If you don't know your birthday, cool. At least know the year you was born. See, you don't know your birthday. They don't know their birth year. If you don't know your birthday or their birth year, then you don't know who the hell you are. Do you know where you were born? Do you know what place, what time, what village, what country, what state? You don't know you're black. So, I mean, what the hell do you know? You don't know your birthday. You don't know your birth year. You don't know what village. You don't know what tribe. You don't even know that you're black. But this is who Dr. Kubar and everybody else feels foundational Black Americans should start sharing with. No. I can't share with you because you don't even know you. How am I going to share with you and you don't even know who you are? It seems like the only thing that you know is how to get my money. It seems like the only thing you know is how to try to scam African me. That shit ain't going to work, y'all. No. You better get on your little phone, on your little computer, and have some fake ass Nigerian dating service and try to go scam a bunch of 72-year-old W women into sending you some money. Tell them that you are a 7-foot tall basketball player, all right? When you really 5'3" and your ass lives in a village, you need to go do that because that's what you're real good at. You're good at scamming on the internet, on dating sites and everything that you do. And we good at defeating all odds, getting to the money, and persevering. That is what foundational Black Americans do. You will not be able to relate, Mr. Fufu. And as I said, y'all, it's going all the way across the country, and we're changing the game as we proceed. Brothers and sisters are hip to the game, y'all. Brothers and sisters know what type of time it is. Check this brother out. I don't even know who this brother is. If you're watching, brother, certified salute to you because it looked like you on the clock. Look like you put in that hard work. You know what I'm saying? Look like you out there grinding like foundational Black Americans do. You feel me? Getting to the money, working hard for ours. That's what we do. We don't run. We don't hop. We don't jump. We don't skip. We don't flee. All right? We work. We build. We shine. We grind. So salute to this brother right here who took his time from being a foundational Black American on the clock, getting to the money to address the new era of delineation, separation, regulation. And that's how we going to get reparations. Watch it.
Peace and power. Real quick message. Please miss me with the Pan-African shit because I'm not African. And neither is anyone in my family. So please miss me with the Pan-Africanism. I don't need you to come under my post to try to convince myself or anyone else that we're Africans. And if you feel like you are an African, then go home. You can simply go home. Matter of fact, it's easier now. You don't even have to be on a boat. You can get on a plane and be home in no time. So go home and stop trying to convince us who are from.
Hold up. Brother said you can get on a plane, a boat. You can be there in no time. Hold up. I got to run that back. Hold up.
You don't even have to be on a boat. You can get on a plane and be home in no time. So go home and stop trying to convince us who are from here and born on these lands that we are Africans. Yeah, that's all.
Damn. You know that's the certified foundational Black American work right there. He said all that, and then at the end he said, yeah, that's it. That's all. Click. He went back to work. And you're right, brother. He was working overtime. You know what time it is. I told y'all we multitaskers. We can work regular time. We can work full time, part time, overtime, all the time, and still G-check somebody in the process. That deserves a certified salute to you, my brother. That's what I like to hear. Man, this is what we're saying. So the notion and the movement is sweeping all across the country, y'all, and brothers and sisters are picking up on it. Man, we from here. This is our country. Bottom line, we're not playing games with nobody. This is our country. This is our land. If you got a problem with us being certified foundational Black Americans, go that way. You can go ahead and hop, skip, and jump all the way back to whatever village you came from. You're not going to try to tell us we are what you want us to be. That is not the way the ball bounces. That's not the way we push. We have done everything we've done by ourselves. We are lineage. We are heritage. We are culture. We are stronger than ever. We are sisters and brothers who stick together. And fam, let me throw this in there because as I speak, I just reminded myself something. They don't say they Black, right? They never say they Black. They also never use the term brother and sister. I want to bring that home, and I try to fit that in every time we have this discussion, is that we are the only lineage, heritage, and culture that uses the term brother and sister, all right? when we speak to each other, brother and sister, when we speak to each other, no matter where, you can see a brother, sister at the store, whatever, brother, what up, sister. Sometimes we say it and it need not apply. Like, we'll talk about them and be like, well, this sister right here, and she might not even see me as a brother. You feel me? We may talk about somebody else, say, man, this brother right here, and they may be like, what do you mean, Akata? And I'm like, whoa, my bad. You feel me? We use it so much with each other that sometimes it overlaps and we say it to them, but they don't say it back to us. The only time they ever refer to us as brother is when they're trying to get our reparations. It's the reparations domino effect that we've been talking about. If you say you cannot get in on my reparations, these are lineage based, then they'll say, but we all black brother. The we all black brother, okay? That basically means we want your reparations akata. All right? One more time. We black brother want your reparations akata. That's what it means. So you can translate that. Since they got all these translations for saying they're not really black people, let me give them a translation, all right? Translation meaning akata and brother, they use interchangeably whenever they try to get in. When they mad at us and we tell them no, then all of a sudden it turns into akata. When they feel a little light at the end of the tunnel, they can perhaps slide on in. They can steal something from us. Then it turns into brother. No, we're not playing that game. So many brothers and sisters who have traveled. Anybody in the chat, let me know. When you traveled before and you've left America, right? You know, or even when you see people who come here from outside of America. But for those of us who have traveled, let me know in the chat. Have you ever seen a black person just randomly say brother or sister outside of America? Because a lot of folks I know, they were shocked by it. See, once again, the older generation used to believe in scam Africanism. So they really believed that they were saying brother and sister. They was holding each other down. They were saying black and I'm proud. Folks was leaving the country and really believing that. I was one of them. I really thought every black person on the planet was like us. They just spoke in different languages. That's what I really thought. I thought they held each other down. I thought I walked through the store, give somebody that eye, dap them up. They don't do none of that. They don't do none of that. And that was blowing everybody's mind who left America. They was like, really? I thought everybody said brother and sister. No, that is an us thing. I thought everybody said the family, the tree, the uncle, cousin. No, that is an us thing. They thought we all gave each other that FBA eye, that look. They don't have that look. They thought everybody said I'm black and I'm proud. No, that is an us thing. See right there. Y'all see it. No, never. Right. Yes, family. They never, ever, 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 ever do that. Never. Every time we go, you ask any brother or sister who has traveled or encountered these people, it does not work that way. And a lot of times you feel foreign. You don't have that. Don't let nobody tell you when you go to Africa, they treat you like your brother. They treat you like your family. They don't treat their own black people like brothers and sisters. Think about this, family. If they have tribal differences amongst themselves, what you think tribal differences they gonna have with us? They don't like somebody who's on this side of the water well. They don't like somebody who's on this side of the jungle. They don't like somebody who's on this side of the desert. What the hell makes you think they're going to like somebody who's on this side of the ocean? Yes, it is not going down that way. They have simple tribal differences with somebody on the other side of the village. They had tribal differences so big that the colonizer was able to come in and exploit them. If you can exploit a difference between tribes, then you know damn well them people ain't got that love for us. That means it runs so deep. It is so seething. Their hatred, their disconnect for each other is so strong. How you gonna go get in? Imagine moving to a neighborhood and on this side of the street and this side of the street, they hate each other. Where you think you gonna fit in? Where you think you gonna fit in? What room do you think these people have for you? You can't get in between the tribe beef because they look at all of us as a different tribe. They tell you, I'm not black, I know my tribe. They tell you, I am not melanated, I know my tribe. They say, we not all brothers, I know my tribe. They are tribe. How do you know? It's because the dominant society done went over there. Asia's over there. They're both over there right now, okay? They're both over there colonizing these people again for the fourth time, okay? Since we've been here in America, they've literally been colonized 4 different times, all right? By 3 different groups. Sad, right? Really 4 different groups. So it's really been a different group every time, but that's a whole nother story. We're talking about people who have been colonized that many times. They had tribal differences galore, but yet you got black folks who think they're going to go over there and fit right on in. No, you are not. They look at foundational black Americans the same way they look at those other tribes. As a matter of fact, they view us even worse, All right, we're going to say what don't nobody want to say. We're going to drop receipts that can't nobody else handle because they're too goddamn heavy. We're going to drop the real work. They look at us as a distant tribe, and they look at us as foreigners. They view us as foreign. They do not even look at other Africans as equal. So how the hell they going to look at a Black American as equal? They do not. You cannot stop the tribalism at all. The dominant society exploits it. Asians exploit it. Everybody exploit it. But yet you got Dr. Umar thinking he's going to go over there, wrap his arms around both these people, and everything going to be loved. You better be careful. Y'all know them stories. Y'all heard them all. See, over here in the Black grassroots, certified Black society, foundational Black Americans, we all know the real truth about what's been going on in Africa for years. We know about all the brothers and sisters who went over there and all the terrible things that happened. As a matter of fact, since we're talking about that, have you ever heard Dr. Umar or any scam African give our brothers and sisters a heads up on what to expect over there? I find it as treasonous that we all know that brothers and sisters, even the elderlies, y'all seen the elderly couple, I want to say they was in Detroit, went over there, never came home. I remember hearing a story about a young sister. She got brainwashed by scam Africanism. She flew over there, never came home. I know the brother who went over there, they tore his whole goddamn house down. All right. Don't know what happened to him. Black Americans go over to Africa and anywhere in the diaspora every single year, and they do not make it back home. Y'all been hearing the stories for years. Us in the Black grassroots been knowing about this for years. Nobody wants to admit, acknowledge, or accept it. Once again, we are always the only ones on this island speaking the truth while the whole world lying. But today we're going to drop them facts like we always do. I've heard stories, hell stories about this, and no scam African ever goes over and tells us this. If you are all Black brother, okay, if we are all Pan-African brother, if we should drop reparations, drop tangibles, and just focus on all the Black people on the planet Earth, then you need to start telling us. You need to come and say, hey, man, all that stuff is nice, but you guys need to be careful over there. They don't really like us over there. They never say it. You need to say, hey, brother, especially to our young sisters who go over there. You need to say, hey, be very careful, okay? It's not really that friendly over there. It's going to be some dangers over there. Even if you just said that some of the people don't like us, I can work with that. But y'all notice they won't even give us that. This is how much they lie and deceive. They won't even give us an iota of the truth. It's always just heaven. Just, oh my God, it's so great. Oh my God, you're going to love Wakanda. I'm talking about cantaloupes fall from the sky and you could just catch them. You know, you got apples and oranges and all the goddamn animals live in harmony. They try to sell us this shit like it's literally the Black Panther movie. And brothers and sisters are going over there and getting hurt. And they never give us a heads up. I ain't never not one time seen Dr. Umar ever tell brothers and sisters, be careful when you go over there. I did see him say, y'all Black American women, y'all can't go over there and talk to the African because he won't tolerate it. Then all of a sudden he want to give us some type of heads up. When he's trying to kick the African man, he ain't playing with y'all. You better watch how you talk to him. Then all of a sudden he want to start telling us what awaits us when we get on there. When we cross them shores, that's what happens. I know people personally that have been to Africa and said, man, I ain't never going back. Done got pulled over. Done got snatched out their cars. If you're listening right now, you know who you are, okay? You know the story that you told me about going through Nigeria and they pulled you over and everybody in your car and they had machine guns, all right? And they said, do not proceed. And you got lucky because the person you were with was just happened to be somebody who was cool with them guys. Basically, they got pulled over by a militia that basically targets Black Americans soon as they show up at the airport, all right? They rush them. They try to get in their pockets and everything. They try to charge them godly amount of money, okay? They try to run up on you and give you a towel and say, okay, that is 500 million Black American dollars. Yes, give it to me. But these people were traveling through Nigeria, okay? Just going along, stopped and seen a big-ass 2 vans of people with guns, and they said, can none of y'all proceed? Where the Black Americans at? And was straight up trying to single us out. Where you Black Americans? Okay, because what they are, they hang around all of these little resorts where they know we're going to be at, and then they try to hustle. It's no different than those people that kind of hang around the clubs where a rapper's going to be, and they try to snatch their chain and stuff. They know where Black Americans are going to be at, and therefore they hang around all the goons, all the Udamakatas. They hang around and they try to jukes us for money. That's what they do. So this particular story. They were with some people in Nigeria. driving, okay? They stopped and there were some vans with some weapons, and they sat there and they waited and they said, where are the Black Americans at, okay? And it just so happened that the person that they came there with knew those people and they got a pass to go. But not everybody's that fortunate. And you ain't heard one scam African in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, the 2000s ever give Black Americans a heads up and say, be careful. We tell that to each other. This is what I'm saying. We are a lineage. We are brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters do what? We look out for each other. How many times have you told your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife, your mom and dad, hey, man, you going over there, be careful. We do that all the time. I literally will text my mother every day, Mom, where you at? Where you at? My mama knows. Okay, my mom knows. Mom, if you listen, I love you. My mom knows. My mama has a curfew. I say, Mom, I ain't heard from you. Okay, you come on now. I ain't heard from you 2-3 hours. Get home. Be safe. You feel me? I text my brother, grown ass man. Hey, bro, you good? All right, make sure you good. All right, check it. Boom, hit me back. I don't hear from him. I'm calling. You know, that's how we do. We look out for each other. Y'all know we walk through the store. There'll be a whole bunch of all these different groups and different races and stuff. W's, you see a bunch of people of colors. We see 1 or 2 foundational Black Americans. We look at each other like, what up, bro? Basically meaning, you got my back? I got your back. We ain't even got to say it. We just talk it like through osmosis, okay? Through our mind, through telepathy, we talk. Hey, bro, got you. That's that spirit. They don't have that, man. They don't have that. You the same way? Yeah, brother, I feel you. I feel you. Yes, indeed. Same way, family. That's what we always got to do. Always. All the women that I know, all the men that I know, I don't care if you my cousin, distant cousin, it don't matter. Where are you? Okay, I'm texting you. Let me know something. And if I do not hear from you, it is on. Okay, we gonna scrap. I'm gonna say, Mama, come on now. It's been too late. Matter of fact, I didn't hear from my mama a couple days ago until it was like 4 o'clock. And I was 4 in the afternoon now. 4 in the afternoon. I'm like, Mom, where you at? She hit me up at the deadline. I said, all right, I'm cool. And you know, we breathe easy after it happens. We go, all right, we good. Because we understand the system of supremacy. We understand what is against us. We understand that we are all we got. And when you all you got to look out for each other. We have a culture of looking out for each other. It takes a village, right? That comes from us. Don't let anybody tell you, though, that's some African, it takes a village. No. Y'all got a continent, all right? We got our own brothers and sisters, kings and queens, goddess and gods right here in the United States of America. And we came up this way. We came up, family, by looking out for each other, holding each other down. I had a conversation. You guys know Dr. Kaba, all right? Dr. Kaba High Walter Kamene. You know, certified salute to you, brother. Dr. Kaba told me personally, he said, every time he's around a young foundational Black American child, that means that when that child's in his presence, that he is the adult figure. He is the parent of that child. That's how we operate, okay? If I'm outside right now, I could be jogging, walking up the street, and I see 3 or 4 young brothers and sisters. They could be shooting basketball. They could be doing jump rope. They could be chalking the ground. I don't care. I watch them. Because every time they're in my presence, I am the parental figure for them. That's how we were raised. And Dr. Kaba always says, whenever a child is in my presence, then I am the parent figure for them. This is how we have to operate. They do not do that over there. They never, ever, ever think like that. We have. And guess what? If we did not, we would not be here. So I'm telling you now, if I'm walking down the street and I see some brothers throwing the football, little young boys throwing the football, if I don't tell them to throw it to me, and then I'll play quarterback. I'll say, throw me the ball, and I'll throw it to them, and then I'll get back to walking. That's how we show love. You feel me? That's what we do. We show love all the time. The term show love come from us. But I watch after them. I see little cars coming. I see the dominant society coming. I see them driving. I make sure that those people in that car, they're not going to have a little problem. See, I'm watching for the next Tamir Rice. You feel me? I'm watching for that. You know, I got to understand what's going on. I got to know who's coming and if they're going to have a problem with our brothers and sisters. It won't happen while we watch it. You feel? So this is the way that we function and operate. We always look after each other. It don't matter if you older. It don't matter if it's your mama, your grandma, you texting them. It don't matter if it's your wife. Okay. So women, married women, they looking up for their husband. You feel me? You looking after your cousins. It don't matter. Strangers, it could be a little brother and sister in the street playing. You watching after them. We have a culture of watching each other's back, looking after each other. They don't have that. So when a scam African comes around here and they tell us that it's Wakanda over there, and they tell us there's no problems, you're not finding no tribalism, you've been getting told all these horror stories for years, and they always skip over the fact that we face danger when we get over there, I can't rock with that. That's treasonous, and that's why we shutting scam Africanism down. I said it before. Scam Africanism isn't just a grift. It's not just a hustle or a con. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous, family, to think somebody is your friend and they see you as an enemy. It's very dangerous to think somebody is your brother when they see you as an enemy. It's very dangerous when somebody sees you as their sister, but they look at you as like, nah, I'm only your sister when it's your reparations. Any other time, I'm your enemy. That's how it is. It's very dangerous to have these false perceptions of people who have these realities of hatred towards us. So it's time that we educate all of our brothers and sisters. We never set them up for these traps. We never let them fall short, and we always watch each other's back. That is the FBA way, and it will always be that way. So a scam African who's trying to sell us that, they're selling us danger, and we ain't playing that game. And it's all right as foundational Black Americans to call all their asses out, Dr. Kubar included, as we proceed. This is, and by the way, one love. I'm looking after y'all too now, straight up. Let me see one of y'all ain't in this chat. And let it go 2-3 weeks. And I'm going to say, hold up, where you? I will find your Twitter. I will find your Instagram. And I will text you and say, I ain't seen you. You good? We'll talk. I don't care. I don't care. Trust me. There's been brothers and sisters that I ain't heard from. And I'll literally be like, yo, you seen them in a minute? I ain't seen them. I'll talk to other brothers and sisters. Let me know something. Check in. And we family. We family. We all B1 cousins. If Black Alpha Network don't see you after a while, hey, I'm coming looking, all right? And come look for me too, all right? If I miss some lives or whatever, please get in contact with me. Say, brother, where you at? You good? And I throw up that, yeah, I'm good. All right, proceed. That's the FBA way, family. Love y'all with a passion. This is what is going on over in Africa. This is their current condition over in Africa, y'all. They are being ultrally, I'm talking about to the T, colonized, not only by the dominant society, but they're also being colonized by Asia. I want you to look at all of those people over there and look at who's controlling what, look at who's controlling who, and look at the way they do not have access in their own homelands. You see, China has influence on these countries through political and economic cooperation. That is all of the highlights in green. All right. So you're talking about Senegal and Mali. That is where they have influence through political and economic cooperation. All right. And Libya as well. Then let's go to the yellow. China has influence on Africa through minerals in these countries. That is Kenya. That is Zambia. That is Tunisia. Family, they literally have this color coordinated, and they're breaking down where China has access and where China is actually pulling resources from. It gets even deeper than that. Let's go to the purple. China has influence on Africa's oil through these countries. That is Algeria, Nigeria, Angola, and Sudan, y'all. Look at that right there. Now let's go to brown. China has influence on this country through offshore oil exploration. That is Gabon, Gabon. Okay, I don't want to mess it up. Somebody get mad at me. Okay. Let's go to the orange now. China has influence on Africa through platinum, iron, and all other minerals in these countries. That is South Africa. That is China completely dominating Africa in every way, shape, or form. And let me tell you why it gets even crazier than that, you guys, is because that is just how they're being dominated by China, which is relatively their new colonizer. They're also being dominated in a hell of a different fashion by the United States of America. That's why everyone calls this the second scramble for Africa. The first scramble for Africa was in the 1800s. The next one is right now. And family, let me tell you, this is the realest part ever, right? While we were coming out of slavery in the 1860s, they were going into slavery through the scramble of Africa. So what you're dealing with, y'all, is one group of people who fought through oppression and came out of it. And then you're dealing with, while we right here in the small country of the United States of America and the small population of uncoded foundational Black Americans, while we're coming out of all this, they're going into all of it. That is why we say we are completely different, y'all. You're dealing with somebody that was going backwards. So relatively, to keep it 100 with y'all, they were going backwards. We were going forward. What is the difference between the two of those? That means one sees the future, One cannot go past their own past. And it's funny that they tell us that we need to get over slavery, but in reality, you guys, it seems that they have never gotten out of it. As a matter of fact, that's not what it seems like. That's exactly what it is, and it has been that way for quite some time, y'all. And then they got the nerve to come around and try to lecture foundational Black Americans about things that do not pertain to them. Check this lady out right here, y'all. By the way, I apologize ahead of time. If her forehead starts messing up your camera, I apologize. If them eyes that are bucking start messing up your camera, I apologize. Family, please forgive me. I love y'all. We all family. We all make mistakes. I did not want to have to do this to y'all, but the hairline is not there on this person. The forehead is definitely there, and them eyes are bucking like she sees some butter biscuits in disguise behind the camera. I don't know. Some Jollof, maybe some Jollof biscuits. I don't know. But y'all, listen to what this person has to say. This is what they do to us. This is how they speak to us. These are the excuses they make when they are referencing us beyond the bucking eyes, the fleeting forehead, and the tether hairline. Check this out, y'all.
Me. I'm from Uganda, and I feel like African Americans don't get enough education about Africa, and it's really something that needs to be changed. So this lady is an African American woman who says, why did a continent like Africa did not come to fight and bring back our ancestors back into the continent? And you need to realize that the people that actually stayed into the land or into the continent were actually even worse than you who left, because they were fighting almost different colonizers. There was the Europeans, the Portuguese, the Arabs, the Italians. You know how everything happened if you read history and if you do. So they were fighting for their land. They were being tortured. They were being murdered. They were being separated from their families. A lot was happening. They were actually looking for survival. And if you even look into how we got independence, most African countries got independence in 1980s, 1990s. I think the last country was South Africa. Not so sure, but I think so. So for you to make a video and come and say our ancestors neglected you, it's kind of insulting to me as an African, because even today, Africa is still fighting colonizers. Do you understand? And there's this thing that African Americans, you say, the house Negro and the field Negro. Yeah, African Americans act like they are the ones in the house, and we Africans are the ones in the field. How ironic. And
oh, hell no. Hell no. Did y'all just hear that right there? Did y'all just hear Mrs. Fufu say that we are the house Negroes? This is what we talking about, family. This is what we talking about. She is using the house Negro and the field Negro example. She said Black Americans are the house Negro and Africans are the field Negro, even though I just showed you China is all across the whole continent, digging every single resource and sending it back home. One more time.
Because even today, Africa is still fighting colonizers. Do you understand? And there's this thing that African Americans, you say, the house Negro and the field Negro. Yeah, African Americans act like they are the ones in the house, and we Africans are the ones in the field. How ironic. And the funny thing that Black Americans forget, or African Americans forget, is every time Africans are killed, every time Africans are erased, they become the minority, because in this day-to-day of 22, Africa is the only continent that can fight for Black Americans.
Okay, done. Family, I would never show that again. Hell no. Hell no. That person just said, we are, okay? She said, we are the field, we are the house Negroes and Africans are the field Negroes, family. And at the end of the day, this is what we talk about. They use everything. So the one earlier said that we are foundational Black Americans responsible for all their pain and suffering. Okay, and she compared all that stuff to slavery. And then this one right here said the foundational Black Americans of all people, we are the ones who are the house Negroes. And yet they're literally, their continent looks like this right here. Tell me how somebody whose continent looks like that right there can sit there and call anybody a house Negro when it looks like your house got more flags than the United Nations up in there. Kenya is literally having Chinese people set up airports and have stores that they can't even come to. All right. They're literally digging diamonds and resources out of the ground, walking right by you, and you ain't lifting a finger. I seen a documentary where they actually built, and I'm talking about the Chinese, they built a high rise and literally took all the sewage and it went right down the hill into one of their villages. And not near one of them did a thing. How can your continent be dominated like that? And yet you come around and you got the nerve to call us the house Negroes when you don't even control your house, your village, your town, and you got all the numbers on the planet Earth. And then you say that you are the only people who can fight for us when you don't fight for yourself. You don't think that you're black. You don't think you're a brother or a sister. You don't think you're a friend. Only thing you see us as a foe. What you need to see, Miss Fufu, is a goddamn comb. You need to see some goddamn Rogaine. You need to go to the hair club for tethers, all right? And go get you that damn Akon hair implant, and maybe you might be better. Put the Fufu down, put the Jollof down, and sit your tether ass down, because foundational Black Americans are on a whole different level. Canceled. And that's why we're shutting down all the scam Africans. We are proud of who we are. We represent who we are. We have always been proud, and we represent who we are. Even if we got a little, we're okay with it. When we got a lot, we're okay with it, and we're thankful because we came from nothing. We are genuinely the people who started from the bottom. We are genuinely the people who made it happen. We did it with nobody's help. Nobody assisted us. And it's one thing to do something without help, and it's another thing to do it with resistance. We not only got no help, we actually had to resist the same colonizers who are going over there right now in Africa in the 2020s and whooping them. We maroons, we whooped them colonizers and freed our goddamn selves in the 1800s. So you see that 2020 plus Africa ain't even touching 1800s foundational Black Americans. And if they couldn't touch us in the 18, they couldn't touch us before that. We are certified all the way across the board, and they are colonized all the way across the board. Family, y'all know I love y'all, because I'm about to show y'all something. You would never get this anywhere else. This is why I always say, I put my subscribers, my chat, my whole certified family against everybody. I love y'all with a passion. You know I do. I represent the lineage, heritage, and culture every day. On every episode, we start off with a roll call, and I say, where are you at? And we see it all. We see down south, up north, east coast, west coast, everything in between. We've even had brothers and sisters who are outside of America, but they're FBAs and they represent. We represent the culture to the fullest. We understand that this generation is going to be defined by what we all do together. We genuinely are a foundational Black American family. All of us, every one of us. And that's what I love about it. And that's why I always say right here on the Black Alpha Network, we separate from the crowd because we move as one unit, y'all. So when I say we represent the lineage and I say we represent the heritage and the culture, the best way we do it is by speaking about our ancestors, speaking about the people that we descend from. We speak about who we have been the offspring of and who we're going to be the offspring to, because we support the young brothers and sisters as well. And since we defend, stand up for, and we always represent the lineage, heritage, and culture, I'm going to show you guys, and I don't think anybody else has done this, but I'm going to do it my way, okay? Because y'all know I'm wild. I am going to show y'all something that nobody has seen before, and a lot of people ain't seen this. Yesterday, y'all, was my grandmother Antoinette's birthday. Rest in peace, Granny. I love you. Foundational Black American Queen, you guys. And I want to show you guys how much I look like my grandmother. I'm going to show you two pictures on the bottom, and these are my grandmother when she was 9 years old. And the main picture is me when I was 9 years old myself, you guys. I would never show that to nobody if it wasn't for the family, you guys. Never, ever, 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 ever. But that is me. Look at it, fam. That is the resemblance between me and my grandmother. Splitting image. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to my grandma. She passed when I was young, you know, but, you know, they all live amongst us. They live with us, through us, and everything in between. This is why we have to continue to represent who we are. We got to continue, because they're not ever going to take away the spirit of that young lady. They're never going to take away the spirit of your grandmothers or your great-grandmothers, your great-great-great-grandmothers, your, grandfathers too. They're never going to be able to erase anything that we've done. And since this is the lineage heritage, generation, we're going to have to make sure, family, that we hold on to it tight, you guys. We got to hold on to it tight. Every single day, there's somebody else who's trying to steal from us. Every single day, there's somebody who's trying to take from us. And these people have no mercy. They want everything that we've ever created, and they want it bad. And they will go to every single level to take that away from us, man. I appreciate y'all. Yes, that is my twin. Yes. Right in between. And my mother looks just like her. So the genes are strong, man. That's that foundational Black American, indigenous foundational Black Americans, man. We've been here before everybody. What I would say, fam, we are day ones, not 2, 3, 4, or 5. That is what we have, you guys. And salute to all of your grandparents as well. And like I always say, your grandparents and my grandparents could all sit down and talk like they are brothers and sisters, because they are brothers and sisters. I don't care where your people from, where my people from. If we all pull up a chair, we have some lemonade, some tea or whatever, we're going to talk like family, because we are family and we will always represent it, man. So, this is the way we are family. And we're going to continue to proceed to give them what they need. So certified salute. Rest in peace, grandma. Much love, much love, much love, much love. Now, family, I appreciate y'all. Y'all got me over here smiling. Thank you very much. Y'all know we're family, man. I showed the baby picture. That was like baby alpha before, we started to go ahead and putting boots on people. You feel me? But we're going to continue, because that type of energy put us on the path to be who we are. And that type of energy put us on the path to ride. And we all ride collectively together as one. We unite the city, and then we step to the world. And the city is united, and we step into the world, y'all. And when you step to the world, the first thing you do is you call on your family. Nothing better than having your family with you. When you look behind you, your brothers, sisters, kings, queens, goddesses, and gods is riding, then everybody is shook. So that takes me back to what I was going to open the show with, but now we're going to bring it all the way back live. Let's talk about Marcus Lemoyne Hill. Yes, we're going to transition from me being a young child to now we're going to do some G-checking and some regulating on these people. Cameron, the rapper, came out. Salute to Harlem. Salute to all my people in NYC. Salute to the whole fam. Cameron, Queen Alpha, Brooklyn, salute to you. Yes, New Yorkers are crazy, and they hold it down too. So FBA in the building. Yes, you are crazy. We are going to represent to the fullest the real, genuine, foundational Black American culture. But we're going to talk about how when we represent, everybody gets mad. The rapper Cameron came out and he said he is not an African American. He is a Black American, because Africans don't fuck with us. I believe in this episode, we presented enough facts to show that they don't really F with us. But that's all for everybody else to determine. Do you know Marcus Lemoyne came out the blue? Marcus Lemoyne was mad. Marcus Lemoyne said, nope, you're not going to say that about Africans. Take that back, Cameron. How dare you? He had to run Democratic Shield interference, because you are not supposed to ever say anything about the Democratic Party in the presence of a Democratic Shield. Why? Because the Democrats are the main ones spending all that damn money trying to get us to fall suit. The Democrats have been the ones trying to Africanize us. The Democrats have been the ones out here pushing the y'all all Africans agenda so they can make all the immigrants FBA. That's the play. And they send out Marcus Lemoyne. Check out what he said, y'all, and I want y'all to see the difference between the way we move and the way they move. Check it out.
Got to recognize that our history and our roots are African. We are African people. When you go through New York City and you meet somebody who's Italian or Irish or German or Indian, we don't say Irish American. We don't say, yo, like, my homie was dating this Irish American girl, or yo, my homie was tiptoeing out with this Italian American chick. Nah, right? We don't say, yo, the Indian American guy up the street gave me a hard time in the cab. We call them where they're from, because that's their culture, that's their origin, that's their story. So when we disconnect ourselves from Africa by not calling ourselves African American, we advance the story. We echo the lie that our history began when slavery began, that we're not connected. That those babies up in Harlem or Brooklyn or Queens, or even better, Philly, those beautiful, brilliant Black babies aren't connected to a tradition of people who could tell weather patterns, predict weather patterns long before they were weathermen, who could outline the stars and the constellations long before there were Western astronomers, people who had philosophy and faith and discipline and civilization long before white people ever stood up. We got all that, bro. And we had that from Africa. So when we cut ourselves off from Africa, we cut our own babies off and ourselves off from the genius and the brilliance of our tradition. Hip hop, as much as it's born in the Bronx, hip hop is rooted in Africa. And I hear you when you say Africans don't see us as real Africans, but brother, I'm going to push back on that just a little bit. Pause. There is a large chunk of the African continent, and again, it's a continent with lots of different countries, cultures, and values and politics that see us as brothers and sisters and long distant relatives who they want to come home. Think about the March of Return. In 2019, Ghana invited the global community to come back to return to home, which is Africa, and specifically Ghana. And so many Black people, African people, went to Ghana. They saw the culture. They saw the connection. They felt the love from the African people. Brother Akon is trying to do the same thing. Have some critiques of what he's doing, but the idea is solid. And when you talk to African people on the continent, and I know you do, they love you. How to recognize.
Freeze. Man, there's a hell of a lot to unpack right there. That was bull after BS, all the way across the board. Before we roast him on that, okay, Marcus Lemoist, before we roast him all the way, I want y'all to check this out. We are going to show you this as well. Everybody's been reeling after that Cat Williams interview. Everybody has. Cat Williams spoke the truth. Cat Williams put it down. Yes, he did. But family, do you know that Marcus Lemoist not only came after Cameron, Marcus Lemoist also came after Cat Williams, and he was running protection for his zaddy. Yes, he did. This tweet came out, and a lot of people didn't really catch it. A lot of people didn't hear it. This is what he said. He said, now, mind you, we all know Cat Williams is putting it down, like off rip, every day, all day, twice on Sundays. And by the way, I have on my Cleveland hat, but certified salute to Cincinnati. Cat Williams is an Ohio gentleman. Cat Williams set the world on fire. Okay, he came into 2024 blazing. All the brothers and sisters in the Black grassroots, we was riding with him. All the Black brothers and sisters in the grassroots, we riding with Cam. So when you talk about Cameron, you start talking about Cat Williams, people who are really standing on the lineage, okay, and just speaking the truth, okay, speaking real facts. We all on this side. Like you said in the chat, Marcus Lemoist is always on the wrong side. Marcus Lemoist is way over there on Democratic Shield Island, being Lemoist as hell, okay? And he comes out and he says those things about Cam. He also said this about Cat Williams. Cat Williams called out all the Black men who be wearing dresses. Look at that. It's right there. Documented. We all see wearing dresses up and down. Look at Kevin Hart, tap dance all the way across the board. It's documented again, family. We got documentation. They can quit acting like we ain't got documentation. We showing the whole goddamn world we got documentation. Well, next thing you know, Lemoist puts out this tweet. He says, these Black actors aren't all or even mostly A-listers. In many of these Black dress photos, he said these Black actors ain't A-listers. Okay, first off, Tyler Perry wore a dress. Tyler Perry was crushing all types of records. Is Tyler Perry a billionaire damn near? He's got his own filming studio that literally people film movies at that place. Chris Tucker's on here wearing a dress. Chris Tucker was not an A-lister. Snoop Dogg is on there. He was an A-lister. If I'm not Snoop, my bad. Snoop was on another list I seen. Snoop was wearing the one guy dress, but that's another one. You see all of these brothers and sisters. Jamie Foxx has the goddamn Oscar. Okay, so let's be clear. Wesley Snipes wore a dress. Okay, let's be clear. Don't tell me that these are not A-listers. There's a lot of A-listers in Hollywood that wore dresses because, by the way, half the time you can even become an A-lister is by wearing a dress. He says, these Black actors aren't all mostly even A-listers. And many of these Black dress photos are more than a decade years old. Yeah, because the agenda is more than a decade old. Like time matters with them trying to feminize Black men. Anyway, some are even 20, 30 years old. Yup. And them trying to break Black men, broken bucks, goes all the way back to slavery. And he should know about Black men being broken bucks because he's one. He's trying to put a time frame on the Skittles bag agenda that they've placed on brothers. Proceed. That said, yes, white male actors also frequently placed in dresses. And you notice he said frequently. He's trying to use soft terms. And then he said, you know, they're kind of placed in dresses. Okay. Off the top of my head, he says here are 35 white male actors who have worn dresses. Clooney, Hanks, Leto, Williams, Farrell, Swayze. He goes all the way down the list and he starts naming all these W men who have wore dresses. And he's trying to make some whack-ass point that just because the dominant society has wore dresses, that doesn't mean that there's an agenda on Black American men for wearing dresses. Let's clean this all up, homie. Let's clean this all up. Here we go. Let's go ahead and put this roast on Marcus Lemoyce and send his ass out the paint. First off, when you start talking about all of those people from the dominant society who wore dresses, a lot of them want to do it, okay? We know. A lot of them sign up to do it. Those brothers who got to wear those dresses, a lot of times they did not want to do it. Why? It's because if you do not go along and wear those dresses for a lot of them people, you don't get the role. Your career is over. Your ass is making Tubi movies if you do not. The agenda that they put on Black actors to wear dresses has been going on for years. There's no time frame on it. There's no date on it. It don't make it any better. When you try to get a Black man to wear a dress, this goes all the way back to breaking books. And like I said, he should know. And by the way, the fact that he said he can name 35 W men who wore dresses off the top of his head. Family, why the hell does he know 35 W men off the top of his head wearing dresses so quick? That's some real side-eye type energy right there. He said he can name 35, not later on, not down the road, not if he got to think about it. He said he can name 35 white guys who wore dresses off the top of his head. Like he been watching all of them. Like he done got that on his big screen. Like he's sitting there freeze framing it, taking photos of it. You seem very interested in knowing them 35 W men wearing dresses, Lemoyce. Sounds like you're a big fan of them doing it, Lemoyce. Sounds like that's one of your things, Lemoyce, because no brother I know could sit there and say that they know 35 men alone that don't wear dresses. He said 35 specific W men off the top of his head. Lemoyce, sounds like you did not want to leave the broken buck plantation. His ass done got a reservation there. He in a goddamn 2-story high rise and he refuses. Y'all know when them folks handcuffed themselves to a pole and said they ain't leaving? That's Lemoyce on the broken buck plantation. He said he ain't going nowhere. And he said he got all 35. And trust me, if he said he got 35, he really probably got about 45, 55. He know all of them. He gave the names, the dates. He gave the goddamn middle names. He said this guy's birthday is here. He was in this role. He got this movie. He came from this town, this state. You seem to know a whole lot about Zaddy wearing dresses, Lemoyce. And it seems that the same way you be sliding on these W Democrat men, Lemoyce, looks like you like the Hollywood men, Lemoyce. And I wonder if you loaned some of those men your dresses, Lemoyce. And that shows you right there, family, that he's a part of the agenda. Are you surprised that somebody named Marcus Lemoyce is the main one out here perpetrating the fraud? 1 minute he want to act like a Black guy, say, man, well, hold on, pause. He said pause when he was talking about Cameron. Look like you've been unpaused for a whole long goddamn time. Sound like you've been on your pause, unpaused the whole goddamn time, Lemoyce. So if you want to run around here and start trying to throw shade at Cat Williams and provide protection for Zaddy, it sounds like you want to be with Zaddy if you're not already with Zaddy. And you should just come out and tell the world, Lemoyce. And mind you, Lemoyce is the same guy who sat down with Candace Owens and told Candace Owens that all of those males can have children. That's what Lemoyce told Candace Owens. And you know when you make Candace Owens look like she's goddamn real, that's a sad thing. If you put Lemoyce and Candace Owens in the same room and Candace Owens is talking more pro-Black reality than you, that means your ass is so far gone, so far lost, so far buck broken that you can't even come around certified foundational Black American society. Never, not at all. So he had to run that shade on Cat Williams, and everything he said was falsified at all. And by the way, if you talk about 35 W men who wore dresses, which literally represents about 1% of all the W actors, mind you, the percentage of W men actors in Hollywood is far greater. So when a black man has to wear the dress, they represent a bigger portion of black actors, all right? Black men actors probably represent, I don't know what, 70% of all black actors. Those 35 W men he named what? Represent 1% of all Ws. So the percentage don't even add up. But this is what you get when you deal with Marcus Lemoyce Hill. You get Lemoyce ass shit. And this is why he is not relevant in the community. And the Democrats can try to push him on us as much as they want to. They can try to sell us all of his talking points. We ain't going for near one of them because certified black society are not playing them plantation, broken book ass games at all. Now, back to him talking about Cameron. When he starts talking about Cam, he starts talking about all these talking points of Africa. So first off, he's already caping for all of them W's wearing them dresses. And then he starts talking about all the tethers created hip hop. Family, this man don't know where to stop. Let's point out all of these things. And there's one contradiction that he made immediately as soon as he started talking. Check this out.
That our history and our roots are African. We are African people. When you go through New York City and you meet somebody who's Italian or Irish or German or Indian, we don't say Irish American. We don't say, yo, my homie was dating this Irish American girl, or yo, my homie was tiptoeing out with this Italian American chick. Nah, right? You don't say, yo, the Indian American guy up the street gave me a hard time in the cab. We call them where they're from.
Freeze. Notice that right there. He said, we don't call them Indian. We don't call them Italian. We don't call them Irish. We call them where they're from. And then he tries to tell us that we're African and we ain't from Africa. We are from America, so therefore you call us foundational Black American. He contradicted himself right then and there. When we say that we are not from Africa, which we are not, that is why we do not go by the term African American. We go by where we're from, where we actually have a birth certificate, where we actually know our birth date and birth year, which is right here in this country. So right there, he completely contradicted himself. He said, we don't call the Irish the Irish. We don't call the Italian the Italian. We call them where they're from. And so the hell do we. You call us Americans because that's where we're from. It's funny how he says we don't call the Irish Irish. We call them where they're from. But yet he wants to call us where we're not from. And he thinks he made a point. He thought he was flexing.
Because that's their culture. That's their origin. That's their story. So when we disconnect ourselves from Africa by not calling ourselves African American, we advance the story. We echo the lie that our history began when slavery began.
So when we do not, whoa, this man don't know what the hell he's talking about. He said, if we do not call ourselves Africans, that means that we are acknowledging that we started in slavery? No. By calling ourselves African Americans, that means that we're putting slavery first and not identifying with our indigenous, foundational, native roots here in America. If anything, calling yourself African is upholding slavery in terms of our history. Our history in this country did not start at slavery. Slavery was the third to fourth wave of us. We were here well before slavery. That's why we say foundational Black American. If we call ourselves African American, then that is basically saying our history starts at slavery. So he's proving our point as he's talking, and he thinks that he's proven his point. And the only point that he's proven to us is that he's moist as hell.
That we're not connected. That those babies up in Harlem or Brooklyn or Queens, or even better, Philly, those beautiful, brilliant Black babies aren't connected to a tradition of people who could tell weather patterns, predict weather patterns long before they were weathermen, who could outline the stars and the constellations long before there were Western astronomers, people who had philosophy and faith and discipline and civilization.
Freeze. He said philosophy and discipline. We got that right here in Foundational Black America. He said the young kids basically who are coming up. We got them right here in Foundational Black America. Our young foundational Black American kids are good. We don't need Africa. Is he trying to say that without Africa, our foundational Black American kids don't have it good? I showed you guys a picture of me earlier when I was a foundational Black American kid. I'm a grown man now. I turned out pretty goddamn well. Y'all all turned out pretty goddamn well. Y'all got children that turned out pretty goddamn well. I see foundational Black American kids all throughout this country. We're all good. They don't need Africa to be great. They are completely okay without Africa, Lemoist. And if you think that you are going to use our kids as some type of ploy to get us to identify with Africa, you got another thing coming. Foundational Black American kids been okay without Africa for a long goddamn time. Africans take care of their kids. We gonna take care of our kids. Everybody's gonna be good, and we gonna continue to proceed, Lemoist. But you wouldn't understand that now because you're too worried about W men wearing dresses, all 35 of them.
Long before white people ever stood up. We got all that, bro. And we had that from Africa. So when we cut ourselves off from Africa, we cut our own babies off and ourselves off from the genius and the brilliance of our tradition. Hip hop, as much as it's born in the Bronx, hip hop is rooted in Africa.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. Would it be scam African talk without them saying that they created hip hop? He gave us all of those lies, dripping with all that moistener. He runs around and now he's trying to say that hip hop started in Africa. Family, you knew he was going to do it. You knew it was coming. You knew damn well that he could not get through that whole tangent, tirade, babble, rant without saying that. Hip hop did not start in Africa. I'm not even going to go there. We all know that's clear. Microphone check. All right, 1, 2. We know that hip hop is a foundational Black American culture. We know that all of these art forms and genres are all foundational Black American. We understand that. And if he thinks that he's going to try to tell us that our kids ain't going to be good without Africa, hell, we ain't going to be good without Africa. Africans created foundational Black American hip hop. Now, it's funny because Fat Joe says that the Puerto Ricans did. Now, Marcus Lemoyce is telling us that the Africans did. You see how all of these people work in conjunction, all tell the same lies, all do the same deception, and they all believe that foundational Black Americans are the ones who are really just going to be on the outside. Like, we just going to take all that, right? Like, we just going to sit back and let Lemoyce say all those goddamn things about us, not G-check and not regulate. You got another thing coming, homeboy, another thing. So you see already, he's pushed the Skittles bag, the Starburst, the fruit by the foot, the fruit roll-up agenda. Then he flips on top of that. He pushes the tether, the blender, the fleer, the hopper, the skipper, and the jumper agenda. And now he's trying to push the hip-hop agenda. This man got all of these in one. And that's why every single time he comes around the Black grassroots, he get his ass ran straight up off the block. And we going to continue to run people like him straight up off the block. That right there is tether babble because he is a Caribbean.
And I hear you when you say Africans don't see us as real Africans, but brother, I'm going to push back on that just a little bit. Pause. There is a large chunk of the African continent, and again, it's a continent with lots of different countries, cultures, and values and politics that see us as brothers and sisters and long distant relatives who they want to come home. Think about the March of Return. In 2019, Ghana invited the global community to come back to return to home, which is Africa, and specifically Ghana.
Cash grab, hustle. That was a con. That was working in conjunction with the United States government. Run that back right here, family. That right there. That same Ghana president is the same Ghana president who just had that whole reparations thing in Africa, where we have already on the Black Alpha Network 3 weeks ago broke down every single receipt and showed how he is plugged in with Nancy Pelosi. He's plugged in with Kamala Harris, with Joe Biden. He is the main one that has been pushing for African reparations. The president of Ghana, the same one that was trying to talk about the year of the return, he's the same guy who has been working behind the scenes and behind closed doors with the United States government so they can use him as some type of international reparationist so Africa can steal our reparations. So we knew that was a cash grab. We knew it from day one. And he's still talking about that like we believe that was any type of truth. Hell to the no.
Specifically Ghana. And so many Black people African people went to Ghana, they saw the culture, they saw the connection, they felt the love from the African people. Brother Akon is trying to do the same thing. Have some critiques of what he's doing, but the idea is solid. And when you talk to African people on the continent, and I know you do, they love you. How to recognize.
No, hell to the no. Marcus Lemoyne, you better go tell that to somebody else. You better go run that game on your handlers, because foundational Black Americans ain't falling for that. This is a different era. This is what they cannot tolerate, you guys. This is what they cannot stand. They cannot stand that stuff don't work no more. It used to work back in the day. It does not work in this day. He is trying to tell us every little lie he can come up with, but he knows goddamn well that none of that is true, and he knows goddamn well that foundational Black Americans have been functioning over here by ourselves without them involved. And if you want to speak about Marcus Lemoyne and why we say that he is Lemoyne, this is why he is Marcus Lemoyne Hill. Y'all remember this right here? Y'all remember this right here? I'm just going to go ahead and let that sit there for a minute. I'm going to let that sit there for a minute. That's Marcus Lemoyne. That's Lemoyne right there, y'all. Yep. Lemoyne was Lemoyne. That's what he was doing, y'all. He was right there Lemoyne with that goddamn person and people that he hanging with, rolling with, kicking it with, locked in with. This is why we call him Marcus Lemoyne. You ain't qualified, homie, to speak about nothing going on over here in foundational Black America. You ain't qualified to speak on anything that we doing. You over there kikiing, ha-haing, jumping for joy, running around with all that over there. But yet you want to come over here and start trying to tell us about what we done been through. You need to stick to all them dresses you be talking about. And you need to talk about all them 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 105, black, W, green, orange, blue, purple, white, yellow men that was wearing them dresses, because it seems like that is what you qualify in, homie. That is your main thing. That ain't what we on, homeboy. So you see already, Lemoyne been Lemoyne. That's what he been doing. And then he tried to slide over here and try to talk about us. Y'all remember that right there? Look at him right there, homie. That's him and Michael Erica Dyson. Him and Michael Erica was kicking it. They look like they was doing more. Yeah, we speaking that real truth. We speaking that real. And you ain't even on that rider. You over there sliding, homie, trying to speak on foundational Black American energy, everything that we've created. And this is the type of time you on? Nah. Yep, you right. Y'all know. I'm reading the chat. Y'all know. I see exactly what y'all talking about. Y'all caught that picture, didn't y'all? Y'all know what was really going on in that picture, didn't you? Yes, y'all do. Yes, you cannot get nothing past certified foundational Black Americans. We gonna see it. Lemoyne, we seen you, homeboy. That is right there the time. And man, him and Michael Erica Dyson was kicking it. They was kikiing, ha-ha, jumping for joy. That was their prime. They was having a great old time. This man cannot speak on foundationals, y'all. He is not nowhere near foundational Black Americans. He is not nowhere near foundational Black American energy. Foundationals ain't going for nothing that he's saying. Everything that he says is completely false, a complete fallacy, and we will expose it every single day of the week. And that is just what we do. And if they do not like it, they're going to have to do what everybody else do. They're going to have to kick rocks. And in his case, he's going to go ahead and have to count more men wearing dresses, Lemoyne. But you notice how he said that our kids are in a bad shape? He said that, right? He's like, if we don't tell our kids that we are all African, then our kids is going to be lost. The kids in Harlem, the kids in the Bronx, in Philadelphia, if we don't teach them. Let me show you guys something. This right here, family, is going to prove the point that our young foundational Black American kids are on code. I always say this. You take a foundational Black American child, and they are more on code than the majority of adults throughout the diaspora. Said it and mean it. Said it with my chest. I stand on that. We stand on Lineage business, then I'm going to stand on Lineage business. A foundational Black American child is more on code than adults in the diaspora. First off, a foundational Black American child knows that they are Black. And if you don't know that you are Black, then you don't know W supremacy. So therefore, it's already canceled for them. A certified foundational Black American been G-checking and regulating at a young age. And we are influencing everybody. Trust me, y'all. Every single group on this planet is not only afraid that we're uplifting the ancestors, that we're dominating in the presence, but we're laying it all out for the future. They don't want to see our kids shine, and they don't want us delineating, separating, regulating, getting to the minds of the young folks. But don't I always say this generation different? Don't I always say this generation hit hard? Don't I always say that this generation is moving on a different pace? Well, check this out, family. This is a foundational Black American Black Alpha Network certified exclusive. I want you to see that the message of delineating and separating and claiming our Black American roots is not only within us, but we are completely influencing the young foundational Black American children coming up so they can stand up, not for being Africans, not for being people of colors, but for being FBA. Watch these young brothers represent their lineage, and they say it more than anybody else in Scam Africa.
Hey, bro, we not from Africa, bro.
Right here.
We from right here.
You from America?
Oh, yeah.
Who land is this?
Oh,
It's y'all land? Tell them it's y'all land. Who they stole it from?
right there.
Yeah.
They stole it from us.
Yeah, talk y'all shit.
But look, I just want y'all to know, have a good day, and I'm a good kid. Stay
Okay.
positive, meditate.
Ooh, he's focused. He's focused, yeah.
Boom. That part, G-check, regulate, case closed, we win, they lose, certified all the goddamn time. When we say that we influencing the world, when we say that we making change, when we say that it is the dawn of a new day and they're going to have to deal with us beyond, that right there is the case. Young brother said this is our country. Brother said we are not African. Young brother said we are American. This is our land. They stole it from us. And then the young brother said stay good and meditate. The young brother said I'm a good kid. They don't understand that in Scam Africa. They don't realize that in Scam Africa. They don't represent that in Scam Africa. I want you to look at that picture right there. Look at that sun coming up or setting, but it shows you the future. That is a very indicative photo that them young foundational Black American brothers are representing our lineage in the most possible fashion, the most thorough, certified fashion. And they're doing it right there with the sun shining on them. That sun is not shining on them from Zimbabwe. That sun is not shining on them from Senegal. That sun is not shining on them from Nigeria. It is shining on them the same way it was shining on them brothers and sisters in the photo I showed from the plantation in South Carolina in the beginning of this episode. And it's right here in America. Foundational Black Americans built this country from scratch, and there would be no USA without FBA. And if Scam Africans don't like it, they can bounce. That's the way we move. One more back.
I just want y'all to know, have a good day, and I'm a good kid. Stay positive, meditate.
Ooh, he's focused. He's focused, yeah.
Every day, all day, twice on Sundays. The certified foundational Black American way. We always win. Damn, I love this game. Family, we do whatever we want to do. We do it how we want to do it. And if people do not like it, they just got to deal with it. That's the type of time. We ain't debating with nobody. Okay? Scam Africanism is done. We done shut it down. We done showed every single receipt that you can do. You know, all we do in the Black Alpha Network is drop receipts. Okay? Pure empirical receipts that cannot be debated at all. And even if somebody wants to debate, like I said, Scam Africanism is over. You don't like it? Go debate with Dr. Umar. Okay? He can go back and forth with you all day long. We will not. You see that our brothers and sisters at a very young age are moving strong. You see that our elders are moving strong. You see that we're moving strong. There's only the past, the present, and the future. And it looks like for the first time in a long time, we are all connected. We have the trifecta, okay? All three of them. Third time's a charm. Well, we got all three, family. And this is why everybody is completely in disarray. They did not expect this. They thought that they was going to tap dance. They thought that they was going to slide us all of these sexy reds, Sukihanas of the world, all the bad music, all the bad vibes, all the negativity. We done pushed that off. How do you know? That young brother said, meditate. Meditate, y'all. Meditate. You see what I say when I say the foundational Black American children are more on code than the whole diaspora? I don't want to hear about 3 people over there in Africa, 3 people in Jamaica. We's not all bad. I got the whole dominant society that tell me we not all bad. Okay, I got the whole dominant society that tell me that. I don't need nobody flying over here from Africa telling me, well, we not all bad. Okay, well, you need to go to the ones who are bad and check them. What we do is that we regulate people who go off code with us. They don't. And if you do not regulate the people who are off code in your community, then you're off code. All right. The facilitator is just as bad as the violator, and we ain't got no time to sort them out. The only thing we have time for is to influence the youth. And you see that we're doing it politically and socially. We doing it, y'all. We doing it, man. Feel proud. If you've ever felt proud in your life about this lineage, heritage, and culture, right now as I speak, as we move forward, as we continue, you guys, feel strong. Feel powerful, because this generation is changing, y'all. It is changing right in front of our eyes. It's everything that we've ever wished for and hoped for. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of it. I was just on the phone yesterday, and I made a phone call, and I said, we're going to look back on this generation, and we're going to say, damn, we really did it. We really, really, really put the wheels and the change in motion. We are going to look back on it, you guys, and we're going to be very proud of every single thing that we did. And we are doing it together. We're doing it as a collective. We're doing it as one. What they going to say about that, y'all? Nothing. They can't. There's really nothing you can do. This is our generation. This is our era. This is our time. And we are moving at a rapid speed, y'all. A rapid speed. This is what we've always hoped for. So let's just finish strong. Let's finish strong. The tides are turning. We ain't got no time for no nonsense. We ain't got no time for no BS. Only thing we have time for is to get to the money. And the only thing we have time for is to continue to persevere. They're going to send all the Democratic shields at us. We're going to shut them down. They're going to send all the scam Africans at us. And we're going to shut that down tonight. The next thing they're going to do, you guys, is that they're going to kick into election season mode. And then they're going to have all of that talk. They're going to have all that nonsense. They're going to run all them games. They're going to sit here and try to tell us that we need to cape for this group, cape for that group, stand up. Your ancestors did this, that, and the other thing. Nobody owns our ancestors but us, because we are them. The same way that you own yourself, you own your ancestors. You own their legacy, okay? You have to represent the legacy. You have to make the most of it, all right? Nobody can tell you to do for your ancestors better than you. So they're going to come around and they're going to tell us we need to represent the ancestors, this, that, and the other thing. We are. We're doing it our way. Don't let the Democrats tell us who we need to be. Do not let the Republicans tell us who we need to be. Do not let the diaspora tell us who to be. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be a certified foundational Black American brother, sister, and hold it down with the certified foundational Black American family tree, and you will be good in life. We do not need to take any lectures from nobody. We are people who came from the bottom. We are people who grew out of the concrete, a whole rose garden, undefeated. So when they come around us and they use our pain and suffering to try to get us to fall suit and to do what they want us to do, we are not doing it, y'all. We are not doing it. Never, not at all, by no means. The only means we know is any means necessary, and that's the way we push it. And that brings us to Martin Luther King next Monday. I want to see the whole family there, right there, in South Carolina, you guys. They are going to have a civil rights reenactment. They are going to have y'all Black folks go votes for Joe Biden. Y'all Black folks get it together. It's election season. Y'all need to do what we tell y'all to do. Y'all need to go vote blindly. Y'all need to vote blue no matter who. And if you don't do it, you ain't Black. Well, let me tell you something. You're going to be sadly motherfucking mistaken, because we are going to represent to the fullest. I want to see anybody who's available to be there. Come there. You will see Black Alpha Network. I will be there. Okay. Our brother Marcel will be there. And we are going to stand on lineage business. We are going to represent our lineage, heritage, and culture. We will be heard. We will represent it in the most political, just business fashion. Nothing wild, nothing hostile, nothing crazy. Just very, very articulate, very, very certified. But we have always moved in that fashion, and we get heard. We don't have to do nothing crazy to be heard. Only thing we got to do is speak our mind. And that's exactly what we do best in this lineage. We don't tap dance. So if any brother or sister is going to be there, you will see me there. Let's get it, man. Y'all know we family, man. Let's take a picture. Let's dap. Let's kick it. Let's hang out. And let's just let everybody know that this election season, we will not be conned. We will not be scammed. We will not be hustled. We will not be grifted. We are going to have a set of foundational Black American policies and tangibles that you will either provide for us or you will not get our vote. We're coming there as businessmen and women with a political standpoint and we intend on everything that we speak to come to life, and we are going to do it the foundational Black American way. And what is that, you guys? That is by keeping it certified 100%. So if you guys are going to be there, you guys know I'm going to be there, and we're going to have a great time, and we're going to be heard. The days of tap dancing for votes is over. The days of the butter biscuits are over. The days of just jumping around, hopping around, skipping around, and doing whatever they tell us to do are over. We are going to move as a lineage. We are going to move as a heritage and a culture, and I cannot wait to see the family there. Let's get it, because they're having these whole events, you guys, and all these other people are showing up at events, right? All these other people are showing up, and they're trying to take what we deserve and give it to other people. Did you guys see this right here? Did you guys see this? Okay. Y'all remember the situation that happened in Charleston, South Carolina. Joe Biden was just there. And while he was there, he was interrupted by Palestinians talking about Palestine. Let's play it real quick, fam. And then after the Palestinians broke out in their chant in a church full of foundational Black Americans, a bunch of Democratic shills who did not look like they were even Black broke out in a 4 more years chant. Check it out.
From this darkness.
If you really care about the lives lost here, you should honor the lives lost and call for a ceasefire in Palestine. Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
I like the way you said it in the chat. No more years. That's the way we got to put it, family. I want y'all to notice this. That was an assault that happened to foundational Black Americans. Nobody was there speaking on behalf of foundational Black Americans. They use our places to push their agendas. They use our home to push their policies. They use our lineage to get what they want. You had Democratic shills pushing for Joe Biden, and they're getting into it with Palestinians talking about a ceasefire on the other side of the planet. And it all happened in the South, South Carolina, the home of foundational Black Americans. And they're using our foundational Black American home to give tangibles and votes to everybody but us. There were 3-4 different groups in there, and they were pushing 3 to 4 different agendas, and not one of them were pushing for foundational Black Americans, but yet it was in the home of foundational Black Americans. That is a prime example of the political discourse in this country. Everybody present, nobody talking about us. So if we do not show up and speak truth to power and let our voices be heard, then you're going to continue to get that. And them young brothers that we just seen saying we're from America, meditate, I'm a good kid, I'm representing, those are the ones that we're going to have to push for. One thing that we always do right here on the Black Alpha Network, we don't just speak about it, we going to be about it, and they going to see about it. So I will see you in South Carolina. We going to represent. It's going to be a full court press, and we're going to be the businessmen and women that we are, the certified foundational Black Americans that we are, and we're going to let everybody know, because the cameras is going to be rolling, right? Right? The whole world going to be watching? Okay. Well, the whole world going to see that you ain't going to outspeak us, out-talk us. You only going to have to deal with us. And I will see you guys all in certified South Carolina. And this time next week, we're going to come back and do a show and break it all down and tell the world how there'd be no USA without FBA. Hate goes down so they can bow down. Certified salute. Man, I love you guys with a passion. Cannot wait to break it down next week, you guys. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. Much love, certified love. You know how we do. You know how we do. You know how we do. Smash that like button. I appreciate it, man. It was good showing y'all my baby picture of my grandma. It was good breaking down all the receipts, putting everything on the table. You guys had me in here laughing. I had to actually mute myself because y'all had me laughing. But that's what happens when we get together. That's what happens when we move as a family, you guys. Oh, by the way, you're right. Those were some Democratic plants, okay? Let's get this clear. You actually had to have an invitation to go into that church. You mean to tell me that some random Palestinian protesters were able to get into this church where everybody else had to be invited? And you notice how they put the camera on those people, right? And then right afterwards, Joe Biden went into a whole political speech and said, I'm making new phone calls to fix the situation. He's talking about fixing the situation in Palestine in a church with Black Americans, and you mean to really tell me that those people just made it there? No, they put those protesters there. They were Democratic plants so they could speak. All the cameras went to them, and they start focusing on them, brought attention to them. Joe Biden knows that he's been getting heat from that community, and we broke that down for 5 weeks right here on the Black Alpha Network, how Palestinians are saying no ceasefire, no vote. They saw that as an opportunity for Joe Biden to give a campaign speech and say, I got your back, Palestinians. And he did that off the back of foundational Black Americans. But when we see all of them in South Carolina next week on Martin Luther King Day, we not only coming to get our check, we also coming to let them know that it's no tangibles, no vote, reparations over everything. If they want to put all the spotlight on everybody else, then we're going to put the spotlight on ourselves. But y'all know when we do it, everybody watch because it's all eyes on FBA. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Certified salute. And always remember, Black is beautiful and foundational Black American is always Black. One love.
Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.